Thank you, Charles. On behalf of the Northwest chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, I want to welcome you to the 51st Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. It's been my privilege to serve as president of this chapter for the past 4 years. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the people who make nights like this possible. Heading that list is our Board of Governors. They are all volunteers, and they are the ones responsible for everything, from our call for entries to our nomination parties, to the gold and silver circles, to the Emmy Awards Gala itself. Let's have a round of applause for our Board of Governors. I also want to thank our Executive Director, Diane Bevins, and her team at ASI Seattle, who truly keep the trains running on time. This weekend is all about honoring excellence. It's what our organization does. You got a glimpse of the future of excellence, and I hope you take some time tonight to say hello to our student nominees and winners. Many of us will be working for them in a few years. Last night, we honored 11 extraordinary careers as we celebrated this year's class of inductees to our Gold Circle and our Silver Circle. Take a moment tonight to say thank you to them for their nomination and for their example. And tonight, we honor your work and the excellence that you deliver to audiences throughout this region day in and day out. Celebrate your achievements. Good luck to all our nominees. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage your new president for the next 2 years, Holly Gaunt.
Hello. That was such an elegant speech. Well, I love my people. Oh, that was so sweet. I love you guys. And Dick was a much better president than I'll ever be. I'm absolutely positive of this. Where'd he go? Dick, come back. I have something to give you. Dick? Where'd he go? Okay. On behalf of the Natus Northwest chapter, I would like to give Dick a Lifetime Emmy Award for his service to the board. He has served this board more than 10 years, 4 of them as president, and trust me when I say you guys have no idea how difficult it can be. He's been a great leader, and what an honor to be able to give this to Dick.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm a bit scared that he's leaving and that I have such big shoes to fill. What I will tell you, having been involved in chapters across the country in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., you know, this is one of the best chapters in the country with some of the most high-quality work. And it's, as the news director of Como and as the president of this chapter now, what a remarkable thing to be able to work with and against such good competitors. It keeps us all, we all have to have our A game on, and you should all applaud each other. I should also say you should applaud the college students who were just up here. I was an intern at KUSA in Denver in 1983, and I don't know, about 20 years later, I ended up hiring Mike Landis as our main anchor in Washington, D.C. Be nice to the interns, you just never know. Welcome to everybody. Congratulations. Keep your speeches short, please, because we all know that that's everybody's anxious to get to the next award, and have a great evening.
I want to congratulate again our inductees And thank you all for the tremendous contributions you've made, not only to our industry, but to our communities.
You know, I grew up here in the Northwest, and my entire broadcasting career has been right here. So to get a chance to host and produce the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards, it's a huge honor to me. And tonight, I'm hoping that we can I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. What's going on here? What are we doing with... Oh, we're promoting another show? That's kind of... Oh, I've seen this guy. How many shows does he have where he just eats food? You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen him. I'll give it to him. Nobody eats food on camera better than he does, but it just seems a little bit... Okay, it's gone. I'm sorry. Got very distracted. I'll focus. Here we go, guys. You know, I grew up here in the Northwest, and my entire broadcasting career has been right here. So to get a chance to host and produce the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards is a huge honor. And tonight, I'm hoping that we can... Okay, guys, see, this is going to be super distracting. How many of these do we have scheduled to promote? We're promoting next year's awards tonight? That doesn't seem a little weird and counterproductive. And when did you get me to do this? I don't remember this. Look, I don't even know what I'm doing next summer. Look, I'll come clean. I have an offer to host the Midwest Regional Emmy Awards next summer. All right? And it's a pretty sweet offer. Fully inclusive. Food, drink. They're putting me up at a motel. The whole shebang. So, I'm sorry. This is me. Hey, me! Get out of here! Whew. Okay, let's not use any of that. We'll start clean. Here we go in 3. You know, I grew up here in the Northwest, and my entire broadcasting career has been right here. So to get a chance to host and produce the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards is a huge honor. And tonight, I'm hoping that we can come on with these. What is going on, you guys? I can't... How many versions of the Housewives are there? The Real Housewives of Regional Emmy winners. That can't be a real show. That's not a real show. Come on, I don't even think that's a real woman, dude. Let's be honest, guys, okay? Okay, I'm sort of rethinking this open. Let's not use this part and just run sort of a standard graphic open. Cool, great.
Tonight, it's the 51st Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards, live from the Hilton at SeaTac, with your Emmy-winning host, Chris Cashman. Watch the show live at natisnw.org. Follow live Twitter updates at natisnw. And be a part of the awards by using the hashtag NWEmmys. Now, it's the 51st Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards.
Come on! Where is it?
They called you.
I know, man. Tell them I'm waiting for my script. I ordered it like a week ago. You can get everything on Amazon. They got award scripts. I'm waiting for it. That's why I pay for Prime. Come on, be there. Come on, dude. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right, we're good. Hurry, 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 hurry. Come on. We're good. It's coming. Here it comes. Here it comes. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Thanks.
Whew. Nah, we're good. Whew. Focus, Chris. They're all... You know, I grew up here in the Northwest. My entire broadcasting career was spent right here. And to get a chance to host and produce the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards is a huge honor. And tonight, I'm hoping to... I never got this far in my speech before. I'll tell you this, tonight we're going to celebrate excellence because some of the best and the brightest from Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Alaska, and Montana are right here in this room tonight. And some others. Look around your table. You know who's who. A lot of news folks are here tonight in the room. We love the news. It's an easy target, though, right? Movies, things like Anchorman, kind of makes it jokes sometimes. The great Dan Lewis over here from Como stepping down. After decades and decades, Dan has decided he's going to hang it up, step down, spend some time with social media, Facebook, things like that.
We love you, Dan. He's been a great, great broadcaster, and he's been a good guy and a fun friend. So thank you for always being a good sport, always. People like Dan is what makes me realize that the anchor man, that's all character stuff, right? Because I know that people say to you, oh, you're an anchor, you're a news reporter. You guys just read words, right? Somebody writes it for you and you just read words. You know there's more to it than that. There's nuance, there's inflection, there's pacing, right? If you don't pace it, if you don't say it just right, what you're trying to report can come out terribly wrong. Let's show them, Steve.
Good evening, I'm Ken Bastida. Dana is off tonight. He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
Sorry, Dana. Show must go on, I guess. Show business, not show friendship. Way to plow through it, Ken. Every now and again, you guys know this, your job is to report the news no matter what, and sometimes funny things are news. You can't say it's funny, because it's news. But you know that when people see it, they're going to be laughing at home, so you say, let's get a credible witness. If we get somebody from that town to say it's not funny, get a senior citizen, nothing's funny to them. Get a senior citizen, she'll say it's not funny, then it's not funny, and we'll just report it. Here's an example. Steve, let's show them.
On Sunday evening, residents in Upper Township say an electronic sign that is supposed to caution them about a changed traffic pattern instead displayed an inappropriate, inaccurate, and offensive message along Route 49.
Quick, get a witness, get a witness.
It's inappropriate for any kind of derogatory comments, whether it be the road or a sign indicating going into someone's property.
Here's where it gets worse.
It's just not appropriate.
Listen to his follow-up.
ASSville next left is what the sign read Sunday night when one of our NBC 40 viewers drove by it and took this picture. But clearly, someone tampered with the sign.
Clearly, yeah, and one of the best ways to keep kids from doing things like this is to put it on the news. Make them very, very famous. Actually, my first job was just downwind from Assville. Nice town, so. One of my favorite moments from the year, some of you have seen it, happen just down the road, about 3 hours that away. Portland, Oregon, the Rose City. Portland, white hot right now. They got Portlandia, you've got Grimm. It's like this hot place. It's just bubbling over, right? And you've got this new influx of young, I want to say, hipsters and yuppies. They're somewhere in between. I call them yupsters. You know what I mean? They're just, it's just the way they say things. They make it so difficult. Fortunately, a news crew in Portland, Oregon, ran into a couple of them who decided a little surprise snow early in the morning. That's no big deal. Take a look.
You're saying it was really good out?
It's the perfect texture for running. Very low impact on its dry snow, so your feet don't get wet.
Yeah, we're both California kids, so we haven't had many snow days in our life, so this is pretty exciting.
All right, well, go ahead and keep on the run. I'm sorry to have kept you, but I appreciate you guys talking with us.
Stay warm.
All right, thanks. We've seen a lot of people out here, like you said, running,
perfect conditions
sledding,
for
just
jogging.
enjoying it. One thing, oops, that can happen.
Yeah, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. It's the perfect conditions for running. Oh, so many of my friends are still in bed. Anyways, something tells me they were running to the coffee shop, right? The outfits say so much about joggers. That is an outfit that wants to be seen, not used. All right, I'm going to close things out with a piece that I don't even want to introduce. I will just say what the reporter says in this piece. You can't make stuff like this up.
News 8's Bob Wilson's been piecing together this bizarre story. He is live in Hartford tonight with the latest. Bob?
Yeah, that's right. You can't make a story like this up. 2 men are in jail, 1 cow is dead, and 3 cars are totaled. Now, when we arrived, one of the men was actively having sex with the cow. His friend, who was videotaping the act, took off as soon as he seen us arrive. Now, we can't show you that video because the man was naked and covered in Jell-O.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We can show you that video here tonight. Shame on you, we won't. We could, but we're not going to. You're eating. This is the Emmys, the 54th Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. How is dinner? Is it good? We nourished? We're going to take great care of you tonight. We have a lot of statues to give out here tonight, so why don't we jump into our very first category. Let's take a look at the nominees. Look at your screen. Promo, news, single spot. And the Emmy goes to...
I've always dreamed of being a veterinarian. either an engineer or a soccer player. So
Thinking that far into the future is sort of difficult.
I don't know.
First category of the evening, a no-show. Maybe they're cutting a promo. Fair enough? All right, let's continue on. We'll accept it on their behalf. Okay, I gotta make an example of you, sir. We don't get to edit you out of the broadcast. Do what he did, but 5 times as fast. Come on up, don't wait for a big introduction. Come on up here, congratulations. There you go. They've got your trophies for you.
Wow. I had a long walk. That's my excuse there. This is fantastic. I accept this on behalf of KTUU in Alaska. And these types of things are never achieved in isolation. So I just want to quickly point out a couple of folks who made this possible. I share this with Todd Dean, who's the editor on this spot, a fantastic creative collaborator on this spot, really brought a lot to it, contributed quite a bit of value to it. I share this too with the young folks who are in this spot. We brought these people in and asked them their vision of the future, and what they came back with was full of depth and intellect and a real sense of humanity. So I hope their vision of the future comes true. I'd like to see that happen. I share this too with KTUU's management team. Every day they hand the KTUU brand to me, an iconic brand, and trust me with it. And for that I'm very fortunate and grateful, and a spot like this wouldn't happen without that trust. I share this too with my wife Victoria, who's here. She supports me every day, but in this case, she actually came to the shoot, which was on a Saturday, a long Saturday, and she brought, through her own grit and determination, came to the shoot, or perhaps a sense that I might be in over my head. And she brought snacks and food and made sure everybody was comfortable. She didn't have to do that, but she does things like that, so I share this with her. Finally, as I wrap this up, I would just want to say hi to my parents who were watching on the live stream. They taught me to have a sense of excellence and that creative work matters. So thank you for them for that. Thank you.
Congratulations. Come on this way. Come on. We want to take your photo backstage. So you'll come on up. You'll do your acceptance. You'll go that way. And we'll introduce the next category. News, promo. Take a look. Campaign. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
There are lots of things that are old, like phones that aren't smart, out-of-date textbooks.
Someday, man may land on the moon.
And the Pony Express. But if you want to talk really old, it's morning news from New York. It's 3 hours old by the time you see it. In news years, we're talking dinosaurs, people.
Come on, Oregon. We know you're here. You know, you guys don't even have to pump your own gas. I'm not even sure where I'm going with that. I'm just trying to vamp. Oregon folks, come on up here, step to this podium. And when you're finished, you're going to leave that way. Okay. You don't want to go this way. It's icky back this direction.
Well, hi, guys. I will keep this short and sweet, but I just feel very lucky every day to work with an amazing, talented, full of ideas, full of excitement for our brand team, and this all belongs to them, and can we give them a big, huge, huge hand?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, next category coming to your screen. Follow along, see if this is you. Here's PSA, Community Public Service. Those are the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Give my baby up. If I couldn't care for it, I could go to a hospital, to the police, or to a fire station. No one will understand why I gave up my baby. But my baby's safe. My baby's safe.
Sooner or later, someone is going to be waiting on this stage when their clip finishes playing just like they do it on real TV. We're not editing this one.
They put Alaska in the very back, so it was quite a walk. Thank you very much. This was a real passion project for us. We had a tragedy where a mom abandoned her baby in a park, and it touched so many people that we really wanted to try and do something. And you saw in that ad, we had no budget. I had to get a woman to play a mom giving up her baby in a TV ad, which was very difficult. Thank you, Roxanne Garcia, for doing that. A coworker of mine, Tara Horton, had a baby a week before our shoot and let us have her baby be given away in that ad. Thank you, Tara, for your timely everything that transpired there. And that is an actual fireman, Captain Matt McSorley, the only fireman I knew. And he said yes, so we got to have him in it. So thank you very much. Also, a couple of folks I work with, Scott Favorite, Susan Morgan, Commissioner Bill Struer, Christy Lawton, who helped get us money after we made it to show it, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Our next category, always one of my favorites, it is audio. Next category is audio. There's the nominees, head to head, and the Emmy goes to.
I'm very excited to be here tonight. Thank you all. I want to take a moment to thank our Muppet crew, Gomez, Yoda, Big Bird, Snidely, Nitro, Grover, and Dudley. On behalf of Montana PBS, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to do the honors, please welcome a couple of Silver Circle inductees from last year, Joan Cartan Hansen and Enrique Cerna.
Good evening. I'm Joan Cartan Hansen.
Hi, and I'm Enrique Cerna from KCTS.
And we are honored to receive the Silver Circle Award last year, and it is our pleasure tonight to introduce this year's inductees. As you may know, the minimum requirement for being inducted into the Silver Circle Award is 25 years. For the Gold Circle, it's 15 years. Now, being eligible is more than just longevity, though it means putting in a lot of time and giving a lot more to your community. Being chosen for the Gold and Silver Circle means a truly outstanding contribution all around. Let's give them a quick applause as this year's inductees join us on stage.
You know, the selection process for this is not easy. In fact, each year there are nominees who are forwarded for consideration the following year. This year we are inducting a record 2 into the Gold Circle and 9 into the Silver Circle. They were recognized individually at a very special reception last night that also was held here at the Hilton. Throughout the night you'll see videos of their work, and you can learn more about them in your program. And along with the names of those who did the hard work of selecting the inductees, and we'll begin the first with the formal plaque presentation right now.
Okay. So go ahead and have a seat. I will ask your indulgence in holding your applause until we get through all of the plaque presentations. Okay. Our first Gold Circle inductee is being awarded posthumously to Norma Goodman of KTVA, known as Alaska's First Lady of Television. Her granddaughter, Christy, accepted her plaque last night, which reads, As Alaska's First Lady of Television, Norma Goodman set the standard for broadcast journalism in Alaska for over 5 decades. Long before Alaska's statehood, Norma took to the airwaves in 1953, bringing a sense of community to the last frontier. At the time of her passing, Norma had the longest-running show in America and was still bringing quality to the lives of Alaskans. Half a century of touching the lives of thousands of people and hundreds of organizations, Norma's dedication to the community remains unmatched.
Our second Gold Circle inductee is Bob Newman. Many of you know him as Gertrude, Boris E. Wart, Miss Smith, Leroy Frump, Ketchikan, the Animal Man, and many other characters in the J.P. Patches show. Bob was in the industry here in the Northwest for 51 years. He's recovering from illness and can't join us tonight, and he sends his gratitude using his trademark Gertrude falsetto, which I can't do. But anyway, I'm sure you've heard it before. The inscription on his plaque reads, Bob Newman's career spanned from the dawn of local television in the 1950s to the early years of the 21st century. His work for Cairo 7, particularly as a personality and performer portraying Gertrude and Boris S. Wart and many other distinct and memorable characters on the J.P. Patches show, lives on in the happy memories of multiple generations of viewers. In his later years at KCTS 9, he was doing makeup for pledge drives, and Bob's great attitude, positive attitude, and his status as a TV legend simultaneously brought weight and levity to the behind-the-scenes proceedings, and Bob is a one-of-a-kind Northwest treasure. Bob, we hope you're doing well.
Okay, moving on to our Silver Circle. First is Steve Amon of Oregon Public Broadcasting. He's been in the industry for 27 years, the executive producer and host of Oregon Field Guide. His plaque reads, the face of Oregon Public Broadcasting and Oregon Field Guide for nearly 3 decades, a trailblazer, a leader, compassionate, dedicated, and inspiring. Congratulations.
Walter Farley started at Cairo in 1974, and he stayed there his entire career until 2013 when he was the production manager. Walter's plaque reads, filled with a passion to bring ideas to life on the screen. Walter lives his dreams as a director, a production manager, and teacher. His contributions to the Northwest Emmy Awards ceremony will live on, as will his legacy of quality broadcasting. Congratulations, Walt Farley.
Okay. I know it's tempting. Dan Keckler has been in the industry for 34 years and is currently an anchor and host of Connect with Kleck, which addresses the concerns, comments, and stories visitors submit. His inscription reads, Dan Keckler is a consummate professional with a passion for broadcast journalism and his quality and his community. Kleck sets a high bar for excellence and inspires those around him. He is a caring father, a loving husband, and a concerned leader who helps countless viewers throughout the Northwest.
Congratulations there, Dan. Lori Matsukawa. Yeah. Lori has been in television for 36 years, 34 of them in the Northwest region. She's been with King 5 for 31, is currently an anchor there, a great anchor there. Lori's plaque reads, Lori has the resume of a seasoned veteran, the intelligence of a shaman, the empathy of Mother Teresa, yet maintains the eagerness and attitude of a wide-eyed intern. She's always defaulting to a smile and will work harder and longer than she has to, and she will never, ever leave you holding the bag. Well, congratulations, Lori Matsukawa.
Steve Poole has been in television for 36 years, all of them at Como, where he is the chief weather anchor. His plaque reads, a true trailblazer in the Seattle market. Steve broke down the walls and barriers when he went on the air at Como 4. In the many years since, he's become a broadcast icon, known for his reliability and expertise in times of bad weather, and for his kindness and generosity in Western Washington. Congratulations.
All right, Steve. Dee Sarton has been in the industry for 37 years, all of it in the Northwest. She's an anchor and produces Wednesday's Child, a weekly segment featuring children in need of adoptive homes. Dee's plaque reads, a consummate mentor, leader, role model, and authority. She's considered the trusted source and voice of news in Idaho, whether it's her calming, assuring tone during breaking news of her ability to put Wednesday's Child at ease on a shoot. Dee has been the gold standard on the air and in her community. Congratulations, Dee.
Upon Tom Spear's retirement from the Seattle Channel yesterday, he had 46 years in the industry. He was a producer, photographer, and editor. His inscription on his plaque reads, Tom's talents as a photographer, editor, producer, and mentor sprung from his love of the craft. His passion for creating television is outmatched only by his care for the people, their stories, and the friends and colleagues who have crossed his lens. Congratulations, Tom.
All right, all you Channel 9 people, give it up for our man, Cleveland Tyson. I've had the pleasure of working with Cleve for many years, but not as many as his 41 years at KCTS, where he's currently post-production supervisor and editor. Cleve's plaque reads, dedicated to the highest standards in post-production. His skills and creativity enhance every program that he works on. His positive attitude and personality bring out the best in everyone, and that's really true. Congratulations to Cleve Tyson.
And our final Silver Circle inductee is Ed White. He's the rookie of this year's class with 31 years at King, and he's the news planning manager. His plaque reads, Ed's quiet, humble dedication and commitment to excellence in journalism have been the cornerstone of King 5 for decades. He embodies the values we hold in high regard in our business: commitment, inclusiveness, and integrity. He has made a truly outstanding contribution to the television industry and our community. Congratulations, Ed. Okay. And now is the time for you to stand and applaud. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 51st anniversary class of the Gold Circle and Silver Circle.
The wait is over. Emmy night is here. Soon your name will be called.
Whee!
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Receiving an Emmy can be a dream come true, but you had better be prepared with some Emmy etiquette. When your name is announced,
Woohoo! Yes! Oh, freaking yes!
Try to remain humble and make your way to the stage promptly. Remember, your walk to the stage may not be the best time for a status update.
Oh, sorry.
But when you do,
Excuse me.
and we know you will,
Ouch.
Be sure to tag all of your old coworkers at the other TV stations. All eyes are on that stage, so watch your step. Your nerves, mixed with all that red wine, can make those stares a formidable foe. Now that you're the center of attention, you'll need to choose what kind of Emmy you want. Yes, you have options. The standard Golden Lady, the jelly-filled version, or the all-new Vaporizer Emmy. Only legal for use in Washington State.
Oh.
Although probably more popular in Oregon. Now, it's important to note there are many awards to give out tonight. So acceptance speeches should be kept brief.
But I wanted to thank my agent, my manager, my news director, my Twitter followers, my yoga instructor, my...
If you're unable to keep your speech short, we will gladly assist you off stage. Now you know what to expect when you accept. If for some strange reason your name isn't called tonight, not to worry. The regional Emmys will be available on Groupon later this summer.
Now you know what to expect when you accept. Look at all these statues. Every one of these will be handed to someone tonight. You do the math. We've got bacon and eggs back there, so we're in for the long haul. All right, here's the next category. Take a look, directors. Is this you, director, live
roll
or on tape?
Effects.
Spoiler alert, Patrick won.
Stand by to take
And we
A
welcome you
under.
back to Jeld Winfield here in beautiful Portland, Oregon.
Roll
It's the
A.
Portland
What an
Timbers in the
ironic
back row.
category for us to screw up.
Stand by to take B under.
Tifo, front and center.
Take B under, A, take A under.
I don't want to point the finger at my director for rolling the wrong tape there. No, I don't, Steve. Thank you. Congratulations. Take a look behind you. That's yours.
Tonight, he's actually directing another wonderful Timbers broadcast right now. So on his behalf, I'd say, go Cougs.
All right, we can salvage that. We can edit that right out and be nominated for this category next year. Take a look. Here's director, post-production. There's the nominees. And this Emmy goes to...
It's a matter of common sense. Think it over and don't push your luck.
I've always messed with stuff when I was a kid, bikes, motorcycles, lawnmowers. I've always had...
If the Emmy wasn't arguably the pointiest award of all the awards, I would be tempted to throw it to you. But instead, we'll let you do it the hard way. Come on up. Congratulations. That's yours. You did it.
Wow. So this is really for the people at Cashman. Some really amazing folks out there. So I want to thank Debbie Santos, Laurel, Lindell, Patty Mackey, the whole crew that worked on the films with us, April Frame, Ken Fankhauser, Carrie Trout, and I hope I didn't forget anybody. If I did, I apologize, but thank you very much.
Congratulations. Head on that way. Here comes our next category. Take a look at the screen. Once again in promo, program, single spot. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Man, these seats are sweet! It's so peaceful out here! I know, right?
Just a little off the sides, please.
Namaste!
Normally, if I saw David Rose walking towards me, I would assume I was one of Washington's most wanted. But in this case, congratulations. You guys did it. Way to go.
Thank you. I'm Erica Hill. I'm the news director at Q13 Fox, accepting on behalf of our fabulous promotions department who couldn't be here tonight, and the stars of Use Your Seahawks Voice, David Rose and Aaron Levine. Go Hawks.
I could go for some garlic fries.
Woo-hoo!
Congrats, Q. We got another category right on deck here for you. Take a look. There's promo, program, campaign. Are you a nominee? The Emmy goes to...
Welcome, everybody, to Seattle, Washington. We got some baseball on tap. Scorching hot. Beautifully done.
Congratulations.
There are so many wonderful people at Root Sports, many of whom you will never see on the air, all of whom make us look good on the air. We love to accept this on behalf of our creative team at Root Sports. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, the folks at Root. Take a look. There's the next category, graphic arts program. And the Emmy goes to... Congrats to Comcast Sportsnet.
Kyle couldn't be here tonight. I'm accepting on his behalf, but he is an unbelievably talented graphics artist. He has no idea how good he is. Please, no one tell him. He has no clue, and he'll want a lot more money. Thank you very much.
Tonight, we honor a man who has spent the last 37 years as writer, producer, and host of the longest-running local series in OPB history. And just who is he?
Hello, I'm Steve Amon, bringing you the news. On the
Steve
local level, Brian Barnes,
began his career in 1977 at K2. This is his first on-camera appearance when he was an intern.
Now, west of the Cascades, the temperatures ranged in the middle 60s.
They hired him anyway, off-air. He lasted 2 years. As KSTW's senior news producer, he helped cover the eruption of Mount St. Helens. But as exciting as that was, Steve never forgot his dream of appearing on camera. He appointed himself the station's first movie critic.
Simply not worth the $4 the theaters are charging.
From KCNC TV. In 1980, Steve turned up in Denver, producing nightly news. That lasted 2 years. Steve returned to Portland and the local PBS affiliate, working on critical stories ranging from Christmas toys
Of course, there are some real disadvantages to running in the wee hours.
To jogging.
But I was determined. So I reluctantly left 2 of my best friends behind and headed out.
From KGUN 9, Tucson marked his 5th job in 7 years, this time as an assistant news director. Here he fell in love with the competition, his future wife, Yvonne. In 1986, they ended up back in Portland, and Steve made his triumphant return to OPB.
Well, all things must come to an end. We don't mean the end of the show, we mean the end of Steve Amon's absence from the set. Yes, he's back.
Finally settling down, Steve produced Front Street Weekly. In 1988,
Tonight on Oregon Field Guide,
he launched Oregon Field Guide, now heading into its 26th season.
Tonight on Frontline.
During the same time, Steve produced a Frontline documentary and one for HBO's America Undercover series, for which he received a national Emmy. 15 years ago, Steve started Oregon Lens, which highlights the work of hundreds of filmmakers. Steve is also teaching documentary production at Portland State. And now, word from the man himself.
Really?
Congratulations, there he is. There's Steve. Way to go, Steve. Congratulations. We will see and hear the stories from some of the other inductees throughout the evening tonight. And I do want to point out that I attempted this year as a producer to really branch out. Not long ago, this really was just sort of the Seattle Awards. We would do this, and the people from Seattle would come, and that was about it. But over the past few years, I've noticed more and more people have been traveling from out of state. How many people are here from Oregon, for example? Look, see what's happening? Montana here? Okay, Montana. Alaska? Named after the state troopers, of course. Idaho is here, I assume. Montana, Alaska, Oregon, Idaho. Yeah, so you see what's happening here. The room really is split. So I wanted to make an effort this year to really branch out, to feature some folks from out of market, from out of the state. So you will see some familiar faces from your markets throughout the evening tonight. So don't be surprised, okay? Now here's the next category. We're jumping into news here. Take a look. News Special. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Another gift. This washed ashore in Washington State. Long Beach, Washington. This is Takata High School?
Oh, yes.
The principal remarks how the ball still has water inside. Has water inside. Water.
Come on up. We got a sparkly for you to take home. You are going to have to pay the sales tax on your way over the border. That's just the one small. Congrats to the folks here. Those are yours. Take them, place them wherever you will.
So the guy who most responsible for this special, Kyle Aboshi, is not here tonight. Kyle applied for a fellowship, won it, and his idea was to follow tsunami debris that landed in Long Beach and follow it back to Japan. So he set it all up, set up a budget, needed a photographer. I'm the photographer. I said, yes, I'll shoot it. So thank you.
Welcome Northwest Regional Emmy Award attendees. I'm Amy Burnett from Newhoff Communications in Twin Falls.
And I'm Joe Martin, and we anchor Idaho's First News weeknights on KMVT CBS 11 and KSVT Fox 14.
Our team produces 25 hours of local news content each week covering all of southern Idaho.
And with the beautiful scenery of mountains, waterways, and miles of agriculture and dairy land, it's impossible to get a bad shot on location.
Unless it's one of the 300 days in the year we're enduring those 35-mile-an-hour winds that make for a challenging hair day.
All right, well, now it's our pleasure to introduce tonight's nominees for News Series.
There's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
Everything in her little apartment will be sold this weekend. The VHS tapes, her jewelry, her knickknacks.
I gotta get rid of it. I don't want to, but I have to.
Because she needs to bury Joe.
That's his wedding ring.
It's the one thing he asked of her.
Why? Because he asked me.
Thanks. I have a little confession to make. When Holly Gaunt told me about this story the first time in a meeting in the morning, I thought to myself secretly, that is not a story, but I'll do it. 3 different shooters helped out on this: Craig Newcomb, Eric Jensen, Doug Pigsley, Darren Tegman cut it, and this was one of those ones where he felt like maybe we made a teeny-weeny bit of a difference, so it was an honor. Thanks.
Congrats, Eric. Folks at Como. Next category, take a look at your screens. Here it is, continuing coverage within 24 hours. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
The state admits there is a flaw in the pontoons built to hold up the new 520 bridge.
There was a mistake made.
The Como 4 problem solvers uncovered cracks and leaks in structures. Now the Department of Transportation says heads could roll.
It was our problem solvers' investigation into the 520 bridge.
He's sprinting at the very end. You almost bridged the gap. Almost. Come on over here. People want to see and hear from you. Show off your Emmys right here. Congrats to Como, folks.
Cool, cool. It's very groovy to be recognized. This was a marathon of a story. Really happy that my executive producer, Sarah Garza, was such a pain in the ass and kept me working on it. And couldn't have been more happy than to work with my great friend, Kiyomi Taguchi, who was wonderful. I have to give a shout out to my husband, Dane Burns, who listened to all kinds of crap while we were going through this. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
He's going to try to encourage you to go that way. If you go that way, it's industrial, and there's plates and salads, and all right, you'll find out the hard way. She's a problem solver. I think she can handle it. All right. Take a look at the screen. Here's the next category. Team coverage. Uh-oh. It's a duel. And the Emmy goes to...
New images show the moment a truck hit this I-5 bridge, sending the span and 3 people in vehicles on it into the icy water of the Skagit River.
It is a miracle. That's the only way I can explain it.
Just kind of like you make a split decision and say, I'm not going to die here.
Tonight, state and federal investigators begin the daunting task of...
I know you're out there. You know what? Again, I'll say what I say every year. This goes to, it starts with the assignment desk. Gerardo and Della are here tonight. And then it goes to all the photographers and reporters and producers and executive producers. They're the ones who make it happen. And I'm just blessed to have such a fabulous team. And kudos to King. Hugely good competitor. All of you are, really.
Part of the reason we can't broadcast these Emmy Awards, because if you saw things out of context, if some kid in Pocatello tuned in and heard a bridge collapse and everybody went crazy and cheered, it would just send the wrong message. So it's best if we just keep it in this room here tonight. A lot of people working very hard. All right, here's our next category. Take a look at the screens. Here it is. Business, consumer. It's a slashy. And the Emmy goes to...
Digital pickpocketing. No more sleight of hand, you just need the newest smartphones.
Instead of having to steal your wallet, I simply just need to get close enough to, scan and hope that I, get a card that's in your wallet.
A scannable credit card that says PayPass or has this symbol on the back. That's what the digital pickpocket is after. Hidden
This other award goes to Kiyomi Taguchi, who's probably back there getting another award. But big thanks to her and Tree No, who cuts these pieces, and a special thanks to Holly and Janine for letting me be a little extra creative on some of my stories, take a few extra minutes to take my time. Special thanks to Lindsay Cohen, let me take her credit card and steal it and use it around town. And another big thanks to, because I do a lot of tech stories, to all those software companies that write security bugs, because if they didn't write those security bugs, I wouldn't have this Emmy. Thank you.
Congrats, Matt. Next category, the environment. All of it. Who's responsible for the best story about it? Let's find out. The Emmy goes to...
Actually didn't realize that it was that serious.
Until that moment?
Mm-hmm.
When I woke up one morning and the sun was shining. But I couldn't hear the birds.
Thank you. John is not here tonight. He's off at an undisclosed location plotting ways to win more Emmys. And I want to thank him for bringing me in on this. And Gordon Hempton, who is the subject of that story, is an amazing man. And Mark Ginther, Executive News Director at King 5, for letting us do stories like this. Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's jump into the category of environment features or segments. Did you do one of those? Here's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
The Elwha used to have king salmon that reached over 100 pounds. They were enormous fish. When those dams were put in the early 1900s, they were constructed without fish ladders. So they didn't have a means of passing fish above the dams. And those dams, because of that, essentially devastated the salmon runs. Thousands of thousands.
Katie Jennings and Greg Davis couldn't be here with me tonight, but the Quest Project really is a team effort, and it's just a pleasure to work with people who are so passionate and talented, and It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll stay on the environment category. Take a look at this next one here. Environmental program or special. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Andrea thinks something is happening inside this 9,000-year-old lava flow.
It is very likely that there are lava tubes below us that are frozen.
She says frozen ice could be acting like a dam.
But we don't understand exactly why and where.
I'm so happy. There are two names on this right now, but really this goes out to everybody on this amazing crew of Oregon Field Guy. We have Ed Yon, the producer, Vince Patton, Joel Gilfillan, our videographers, Michael Ben Dixon, Todd Sonfleet, who's been with me from the very, very beginning, Nick Fisher. It's a labor of love. And all I can say is we just celebrated our 25th year, and we're still kicking ass. Thank you.
I want to know the story behind the walking boot. Was it from kicking ass? Nice. Nice, bro. Representing. All right, here's our next category. Take a look at the screen. Health and science in the news category. And the Emmy goes to...
Oh, did I do that?
Yeah, you've done hundreds of paintings.
Well, I guess I'll have to think about it and see. I don't know. I can't remember things.
Jean has no memory of creating the paintings.
Here we go.
Even moments after she's done. It's like...
Never happened.
No show. No one Johnny's reporting on something. He's doing a backstage feature, right? Is that what's going on? We'll accept it on their behalf. Congratulations. Great stuff there, folks. Absolutely. Actually working tonight, so... Here comes our next category. Take a look at your screens. Do you recognize this one? Politics, government. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Every kind of abuse you could think of. There's a lot of times where I just lay in my bed and pray and ask God, just, why can't you just take me?
During those years, all the most important decisions in Mikhail's life were made in a courtroom. That's the way it works in foster care. Judges make the final decisions, such as where you'll live.
Well, whoever judged this, thank you very much. And I want to thank Mark Ginther, our news director, for just believing in us and letting us pursue issues that we think are important. And sometimes I think that I take for granted, and maybe other people in the room here, just what our responsibilities are to bring stories that are important. And this story was about the fact that foster kids in our state were lagging behind pretty much the rest of the nation, which was very embarrassing for Washington State. So after we did this story, for the first time ever, they did pass a law in the legislature this last session so that foster kids will now get appropriate representation in the courtroom. So thanks also to Steve Douglas. He made this one sing. And to Russ Walker, our executive producer. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
I think you'll enjoy it.
Western Washington knows Steve Poole as the Como weatherman. When the going gets tough, people tune in.
He knows how important it is to the viewers, and he gives a really clear and concise forecast as best that he can and helps guide people through those kind of trying weather times.
That's just one of the many roles Steve Poole has mastered in his 4 decades on the air at Como TV.
Often, however, history becomes...
The University of Washington student got his start on Channel 4 in 1974 as a producer and reporter of Action Inner City when he was still a student.
Now, how long has it been since you've been to the library?
2 years later, he officially joined Como as a production assistant and fast-tracked to reporter of a feature program called Window. A slew of promotions followed. 1979, weekend sports reporter. 1981, weekend news anchor. After that, he made viewers laugh every night with Poole's Corner.
Steve Poole.
In 1985, he became the station's lead weathercaster after Ray Ramsey, the unforgettable Seattle icon, retired.
And Stephen is joining us, and he is a really class act.
Steve became the first African-American Maine weathercaster on the West Coast. In preparation, the TV guy hit the books. He studied for months under famed UW professor Cliff Mass.
He was one of my best students. I mean, he picked up weather, several years of meteorology very, very quickly.
On air, Steve didn't miss a beat. In fact, he added to his workload, hosting the award-winning Frontrunners.
Welcome to Frontrunners.
Though he's worn many hats throughout his broadcast career, there is one constant.
And without that support, we would not have one of the country's best hospitals.
His commitment to children.
But you have to start with the telethon because this has generated over $75 million to the hospital the past 30 years, and Steve has been there from day one.
Along with the annual Seattle Children's Hospital Telethon, the Warren Moon Steve Poole Golf Tourney has helped raise more than $2 million. There are countless causes he's helped.
He's a caring guy. You know, he's a guy that lives in the community, wants to be a part of it, and wants to give back.
Steve Poole in from KOMO in Seattle.
From the national stage on ABC's Good Morning America to the youngest of audiences inside classrooms, Steve's signature smile has greeted viewers for 40 years, 4 decades of broadcasting and community service.
He's been an icon in this community for a long time.
How come he never gets old?
I know.
Steve Poole looks the same, I swear, since the day I met him.
Steve Poole, I remember sitting on my father's knee watching television years ago and watching you do the weather. And now, well, my children's children are sitting on my knee and we're still watching you on television.
The smile, signature stash, that hair.
Mine has changed colors and his hasn't. He's really one of the most talented guys I've met in this business.
There he is, the great Steve Poole. Right over here. The great thing about Steve Poole is he forecasted that standing ovation. He predicted that accurately to me. I will take you behind the curtain a little bit. Steve did ask, he's of course thrilled to be honored, but he said, could you honor me earlier in the evening? Because I got my mama with me. Mama Poole is right next to him. She doesn't like to stay up real late. Thanks for being here, Mama. Congratulations to Steve. All right, folks, take a look at the next category, jumping into crime. It always turns to crime, doesn't it? There's the nominees. Here comes the Emmy goes to.
The sex industry in Portland is huge. Almost every corner is, porn shop, strip club, lingerie parlor. It definitely breeds itself.
There's a dark, dark place. A place where prostitution runs rampant and child sex trafficking common.
Genuinely surprised. It was either Joe or, gosh, I thought I was going to get Sharifi'd at that one. Wow, I feel so honored. Okay, thank you so very much. This was my heart's desire. I've been in this industry for about 10 years, and I found my voice this last year as a journalist. And I had the most amazing privilege to tell the stories of young women starting at age 14 who had become victims of child sex trafficking. And because of the amazing support of my station at KGW and Rich Kurz, who's here, I was able to help in making a state law change in order to have stricter penalties for Johns. So that was just an amazing experience. Thank you so much to John Gudgel, my amazing photographer. Thank you to the love of my life, John Langler. And thank you so much to my parents. This is so exciting. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves from Rick Steves Zero, which airs all across the United States on public television. Some of you might not know it, but I live and produce our show right in Seattle, which is my hometown. And I'm taking a little break out of my research right now in, where am I? What is this city? It's, well, there's canals, there's bikes, there's wooden shoes, there's bridges, there's lots of happy people. It's Amsterdam, and it's my honor today to be part of the Regional Northwest Emmy Awards. And I'm thrilled to announce tonight's Emmy nominees for community service.
Our buddy Rick Steves from Amsterdam, he's always got time for us. There's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
Told you all along it needed to go to the little kid.
After lap number 6, we squeezed in a quick question. What do you think?
Awesome. So awesome.
Then he took off again. A smile on Mom and Dad, and from Ernie, who made a boy's dream come true.
Thank you, guys. It's...
Thank you. What a privilege it is to work at Como with an incredible team of professionals, but who are actually better people even than they are journalists. I could not be more proud to win this award. We have a 501c3, and we truly believe at Como that we can do good work, but we can also do good things in the community. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Brad Brooding. Coming up on the next Northwest Side Roads, we'll show you the majestic splendor of a secluded lookout hidden away in this dense forest. It's known to very few, but those who've seen it say it's spectacular. And it's in one of the most romantic locations in the state. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh!
I didn't see you there.
No, that's okay. We were just finishing up. Oh, what is this? What are you guys doing? Hey, Mom! What's going on?
Just doing a TV show here. We're so sorry.
Yeah. That's so
I didn't see your little nest there.
No, that's okay.
We'll leave you to it.
Hey, no, I know you. You're the guy from Northwest Side Roads.
That's me, yes.
Yeah, honey,
yes.
get up here. Put some clothes on.
I'll leave you guys to your business.
No, actually, you're one of the reasons that we come out here all the time to have sex. So it's so great to see you and meet you, man.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is just so crazy because it's actually our anniversary.
Yeah. Wow.
8
okay.
years.
8 years.
So,
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
We'll let you get back to celebrating.
Actually.
Would you just take a picture of us for our anniversary?
Yeah.
We'd love that.
Come on.
Okay,
It'd be
all
so
right.
great.
We
Sure,
really
we'll do
love
one.
the show.
Yeah, we'll
we
do
really
one.
love the show.
We'll do one
show.
picture.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Got it. There you go.
All right. Actually, what
right.
we should do is we should have your you should sandwich in with us, have your cameraman take a picture of the 3 of us.
I really gotta run,
so
guys.
Great.
I gotta
come
go.
on. Can we tag you in it?
No, please don't.
Oh, come on. That was just so great. That's so exciting.
I know, and I can tell you're excited.
I would think you would just cut a new promo, but I know how fast you got to churn things these days. Looks like a pretty good show, though. Let's move on with our next category, in arts and entertainment. There's the features that are nominated, and the Emmy goes to...
You know, dance saved my life. It gave me a path. It directed me in a way that I've been able to experience all of these amazing things. This experience has allowed me to open up and be willing to accept it.
Thank you very much. I was not expecting this, but I'll take it. I'd like to thank the beautiful and talented Jade Curtis and Donald Bird with Spectrum Dance Theater, Sheila Mullen, and Nancy Guppy with Art Zone, John Gimberso, General Manager of our station, and Tom Spear. And hi, Matthew and Kate. Thank you.
Congrats to the Seattle Channel. Here's our next category, Arts and Entertainment Program Special. There's the nominees. And this Emmy goes to...
I just want to thank
all of the donors, underwriters, and advocates of the public broadcast system for this Emmy. With your support, Montana PBS will produce its 10th season and 52nd episode of 11th and Grant with Eric Funk. And I love music television, so I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
The next category, Human Interest Feature Segment. There's the nominees, and this Emmy goes to...
He didn't care about money, didn't care about clothes, didn't care about his car. You know, not the typical teenager. You know, he was always looking to see what he could do to help other people.
By the time he had turned 18, Devin had met a girl, followed her to Chicago, and immediately...
Thank you, everybody. There's a guy that's already accepted one Emmy named Doug Burgess. He was the reason why I won my first Emmy about 20 years ago. And he taught me that pictures are the most important thing in television. And I'd like to thank my photographer and editor, Justin Renaud, who put together a great piece. And we put together a little show called My Window with 6 people, a half an hour every day, Monday through Friday. I'm really proud of it. Thanks so much.
Here comes the next category. Take a look at your screens. Historical Cultural Feature Segment. And this Emmy goes to...
Sherman's wife knew he was a CIA officer, but what did they tell others in Spain, Denmark, Sweden, Virginia, Saigon, and Linwood, Washington?
Very simple. I was a political officer at the American Embassy. You become very social, and you play bridge, and...
I guess I want to say that every year on Valentine's Day, I toast every man who's ever broken my heart or broken up with me, because it led me to my soulmate and news partner, Scott LaPlante. And I feel the same way tonight. 30 years ago when I set out, I had way different thoughts of where I'd be and what I'd be doing. And here I am tonight, so excited, so happy. Thank you so much. I thank UW Television. I thank Charlie Hinckley, who accepted my pitch to go do my story on Vaughn the Spy. I thank Dave Riss, who brought history to life, not easy, with a few pictures. And then I thank, of course, the spy who loves me, Vaughn Sherman, who agreed to sit down and tell me everything he could about being a spy, that he could. And at the very end of the piece, I ask him, I say, is it true that the lady spies are really pretty? And he smiles, 86 years old. He goes, yep, that part is true. So here's to the truth. Thank you so much.
The next category, Historical Cultural Program Special. There are the nominees, and this Emmy goes to...
It is the last remaining large intact coastal rainforest on the planet. And it's got every type of landscape you can imagine. It's one of the few places I've ever worked where you go to work in the morning and you have to pay attention so something doesn't eat you.
Come on up, everybody scooch in your chairs. Let's mind our manners. You can be unruly in an hour from now, but right now we'll all mind our manners. Congratulations, way to go. From the back of the room to this hot seat.
I'm going to let them do most of the talking because the talent for this program is behind me, but the opportunity to tell this story about a lifestyle that actually doesn't really exist anymore in our community was really award enough. Thank you.
So that was Patty, our executive producer, and I'd really like to thank you for helping us fund this project, because we knew when we started out to tell this story, if we didn't make a few people angry, we weren't doing a good job telling the story. So there's 17 million acres of Tongass National Forest that surrounds us, and these men and women, it brings out their passion. And it was an honor to meet so many people that risk their lives in the wild places to bring us timber, and those that seek to protect it equally as passionate. So we love the forest, and it was an honor to be a part of that. So thanks to this team, Laurel Lindahl, our writer, and our director and editor, Richard. It's really, well, thank you.
Congratulations. We're getting ready to jump into some health and science categories, and I got to imagine that it's very challenging and intimidating for some of you to be assigned to health and to science, right? Because nobody gets promoted anymore. You just get assigned to become a bureau chief, right? You got the noxious weeds bureau chief, you're the seasonal allergy bureau chief, and then some of you get health and science, which can be really intimidating, right? Because you have to report on what doctors know. That's tough, especially when the so-called experts aren't even sure what they're supposed to tell you. I found this very interesting prescription on Imager last week. Take a look at your screen. Follow this prescription. Every night before food, once daily to be taken 4 times a day, 3 times a day, every 3 times daily. Take 1, take 2, take 3, 1 or 2, and follow those printed instructions you've been given with this medicine. You translate that, ladies and gentlemen. That was given to them by a pharmacist, a so-called expert. So I think you've got a little wiggle room in the health and science area. Here's the next category. Take a look at this. Health and Science segment. Is that you? Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
It turns out that otters play a key role in combating climate change by protecting underwater kelp forests. Like all plants, kelp sequesters carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to create its leafy structure. In fact, kelp forests are one of the world's most efficient absorbers of CO2.
I want to thank KCTS9 for supporting this type of coverage, for believing in environment, science and environment coverage. And I also want to thank my amazing wife, Katie. Without her support and encouragement, none of this would be possible.
I want to thank everyone who made this dream possible, and thanks KCTS9 and PBS.
Let's stay on this topic. Here comes the category of Health and Science Program Special. And the Emmy goes to...
They're all battling major illness.
I have brain cancer.
And injury. But today is a day to put all that aside and celebrate life.
I thought it was wonderful. It was amazing.
Thanks to some caring groups that believe in the healing power of the outdoors.
So as everybody in this room knows, television is a group effort, and this program in particular has a number of different people that work on it. This particular episode was led by Marcia Franklin, but also our executive producer, Bruce Reichert, our videographer editors, Pat Metzler, and the whole team at Outdoor Idaho. On behalf of them, thank you very much.
Congratulations. And if you had your heart broken in that last category, there's still hope, because there is a second recipient in that category. And that Emmy goes to...
Like you're in a little bit of a, can I say Maytag washing machine? If it's really bad, it can be hard to equalize your ears, stay in one position, collect data, get video images that we want to take. It makes your job much harder when the water is moving around as it is.
Thanks. I'm going to receive this for Vince Patton, my colleague over at OPB and Oregon Field Guide. We get to do amazing things, and if you've ever seen one of your photographers descend under the ice to get a story, it's quite exhilarating. So thank you.
In Seattle. In a business that breeds movement between television stations and markets, he would be considered a true blue anomaly. He got into television because it looked like fun. His first exposure was a summer school class after 8th grade. He graduated from high school in 1974 on a Saturday and reported for work at Cairo 7 on Monday morning as a stagehand. Working every shift as the new kid, Walter got to know all the shows quickly.
Time for you to say something right now.
JP Patches was more fun than he could have dreamed. JP was a clown off camera as much as he was on camera.
Now tomorrow's forecast.
Harry had a great sense of humor, but also a very serious side. He was an Episcopalian priest. This is Harry performing Walter and Sue's wedding 32 blissful years ago.
Very good.
Over time, Walt worked his way through the ranks, and in 1984 he was promoted to full-time director and later to Cairo 7 production manager. Walter's love of directing comes from endless hours in the control room, directing news and entertainment shows, commercials, seafair hydroplane races and torchlight parades, and live volcano coverage, long before covering natural disasters was commonplace. Some may think that directing is stressful. However,
are you relaxed today or are you tense?
We're all tense. All right, let's see. Walt, you've got the card. Walt Farley, our director. All right, put your thumb on there and hold it. Try not to break the card, Walt. He's very calm for having the ship sinking as badly as it is here today.
working on Seafair also required getting the story. Knee-deep in water at the head of the cargo bay of a Chinook helicopter in Lake Washington was not the most comfortable experience, but Walter wouldn't trade it for a desk job. Directing news was his daily life. Ironically, Walter received his first Emmy for directing a Christmas special, winning the Fine Arts category. Walter weathered the cultural changes of new ownership twice at Cairo 7, and he served 19 news directors, learning more about the business from each one. As production manager, he handled building new news sets, training and nurturing his technical staff in camera, audio, lighting, and directing, and he oversaw the transition from a fully staffed studio crew to the automated world of today's newscasts. Always wanting to do more to help Cairo, in 2008, Walter took on the job of facilities manager in addition to his production manager duties. Working both jobs was challenging, but the rewards were many. In 1999, Walter got involved in the production of the Natus Northwest Emmy Awards, and in 2000 directed his first show at the Westin Hotel. For the past 15 years, he has been involved as a director, technical supervisor, production manager, and overall technical advisor to the Emmy Awards. When he started, the ceremony was a simple live-only production. He suggested that if we were celebrating excellence, let's do a 3-camera, full-blown television production. The evolution of that discussion now has the entire Emmy evening carried live on the Natus Northwest website, making the Natus Northwest Emmy Award show one of the best regional award shows in the country. Congratulations, Walter, on your great contributions and more fun to come.
I look forward to watching the generations to come as they deal with the challenges of 24/7 news delivery to devices much smaller than a television. I urge them to follow their passion and hope they find the enjoyment I have found in this industry. It's been my pleasure to help make the Natus Northwest Emmy Awards show one of the best regional awards show in the country, and I can't thank the Academy enough for this wonderful recognition.
Walter Farley.
Hey there, I'm Terry Chick from KEPR and KIMA Action News in the Tri-Cities Yakima market, home to the most contaminated site in the Western Hemisphere. Whoa, 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 whoa. Scratch that. That's a little rough. Let's try it again. Hey there, I'm Terry Chick from KEPR and KIMA Action News in the Tri-Cities Yakima market. Time magazine ranked us #2 in the nation where Americans are terrified to live. That one's not gonna work either. Wait a minute, I got it right here. Hey there, I'm Terry Chick, yada, yada, yada. Greetings from Washington wine country. Here are the nominees for Politics, Government, Program, or Special.
Thank you, Terry. And the Emmy goes to...
Chris Bell let us in on a little secret. Your fish is only thrown once. After that, the guys use a frozen one for show.
Come on, boy! Come on, boy! Yeah!
But one fish you'll never see tossed here a genetically engineered salmon.
Wow, thank you very much. There's a lot of exciting things going on at TVW, and you probably all remember my speech last year. We won our first Emmy Award since 1999 last year. To be back up here again this year is just a real thrill and a real honor, so thank you very much. I owe it all to the group that is standing next to me here, and especially this lady right here. So, Anita.
I just appreciate Greg not rolling his eyes every time I come to him and say, I have an idea. This time it was shooting with DSLR cameras. Lars got to learn how to do that in, a matter of 2 weeks. Keisha as well, and then Brett stepping in and cramming into the Ford Focus and traveling across Washington with 4, and one time 5 of us actually in a Ford Focus like a clown car. So this crew, phenomenal. We don't have a big production team, but I hope you check out our documentary sometime, and thank you so much.
And she just had a baby. Who's upstairs? Congratulations. All right, here comes Feature News Report. Light feature. Take a look. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to.
He listens for the shutter speed.
Quarter second.
And then comes the tricky part. Something he can't hear, taste, smell, or feel.
Now this is the hardest part, trying to see the f-stops on these lenses.
You see, Gary is legally blind.
Come on up. We'll edit this part out. Nobody will ever see this. You will just appear right there with your statue. And action.
I can't believe this. I'm so humbled. Thank you so much. This is for my mom, who used to tell me stories and was the first person who taught me the art of telling a story. And that is exactly what this category is about. And I know in this day and age, especially in our news industry, features, well, I'm sure all of you have spent some quality time with your news directors, begging them to do certain stories, asking for an extra minute or 6. And I just feel very honored and grateful for having had the opportunity to do this story. It's about a photographer, and he lost his vision, but not his sight, for his passion and his craft. And I asked the one and only Kurt Austin if he wanted to spend some quality time with me on a Saturday, unpaid, and some more quality time editing it on his own time. And he said, yeah, I'm all in. And that's the way he is, as you know. And I want to dedicate this to all of you photographers out there, all of you photojournalists. I want you to know that your craft is appreciated. And without you, people like me, we'd be obsolete. And I hope that every reporter in this room hugs your photographers. Thank you.
Wasn't that great? When Catherine told me about this story, I had to say yes. My mom, before she passed away, became blind for the last 2 years of her life. And I cannot pass up a story about someone who lost their eyesight. And it's just a great privilege to follow people who have this kind of, who've lost their eyesight. So, thanks.
Next category is in Feature News Report. This is a serious feature. And the Emmy goes to...
3,000 miles of road that separate Bellingham, Washington from Newtown, Connecticut cannot even begin to untangle the miles of thread now tying both towns together.
Oh.
That thread runs through a collection of quilts made in the Northwest and destined to travel east.
First of all, and I sound like a broken record, but for the second year in a row, the first person I have to thank is Roberta Romero, because she, once again, told us about this story, said if it wins an Emmy, thank her. And once again, Roberta Romero gave us a story that won an Emmy, so thanks to Roberta, who's just wrapping up her career at King. Secondly, I've been working with this guy for 10 years, and he's one of the most talented photographers in the business. This is the first time we've been able to win an Emmy together. So I thank Jeff. I thank Mark Ginther for 3 incredible years at King 5, and I thank my partner Peter for his love and support during all these years.
God bless Mark Ginther, God bless Scott Jensen, and this guy, this is the best thing that could have happened. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, fellas. Good to see Joe back in town. All right, I'm excited because we're about ready to get into investigative reporting, and I love investigative reporting. I don't know about the other markets, but in Seattle, it's like the hot thing. Everybody's got one. We've got the investigators, we've got the problem solvers, the problem starters. There's like every version in the market. And I got very excited because I thought, I got to do something cool for this. Oh, I know. I just met Jesse Jones. He's a really cool guy, and in town, here, get Jesse. I mean, he is a brand. So I called Jesse, I said, hey, you gotta come on stage, we'll do a funny thing with me. He says, you got it. And then about 2 days ago, I get a text message saying that he hurt his back, can't make it, so sorry to leave you hanging. I said, Jesse, come on, I had a whole routine planned, man. And he said, I'm sorry, I can't be there. I would, but I can't be there. I'm sorry. And then it hit me. If I've learned anything from Jesse, it's never to take anybody at their word, not even Jesse Jones. Take a look at this.
We came to this suburban neighborhood looking for Jesse Jones, looking for answers, looking for the truth, and that wasn't easy to find.
Mr. Jones, it's the instigators. Open up. We have some questions for you, sir. Mr. Jones, hello!
After several hours, I determined that Jesse wasn't home. And it was a chance encounter with a neighbor that raised even more questions.
Yeah, he helped me out big time yesterday. I had to move a bunch of firewood, and he pitched in, helped me move the whole thing.
So he actually helped you lift an entire stack of firewood yesterday?
Absolutely, he was a big help.
Did he appear to be injured? Did he complain about a shoulder injury, anything like that?
No, not at all.
In these documents, there's virtually no record of Jesse's injury. Perhaps that's because I obtained these documents here, in this recycling bin. And this is not Jesse's home.
This bearded area man says he also had a recent encounter with Mr. Jones.
Oh, absolutely, no question. He was right across the street. Matter of fact, this old lady came out of the hardware store, and she's, laboring with these bags of sand, and he's like, oh, ma'am, let me, in true, get Jesse fashion, just lend a helping hand. And
wait, so you saw him carrying heavy bags of sand, lifting bags of sand?
Oh, no question about it, yeah.
Several tips led me to Seattle, where I finally tracked down Jesse Jones, captured in this surveillance footage. And what we witnessed the supposedly injured Jesse Jones do next was shocking. Caught in the act and caught on camera.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing? Get the camera out of my face.
Jesse, Chris Cashman, the instigators. Hey, how do you respond to the people who say that they don't believe you have an injured shoulder and you were able to pick up a massive boulder, Jesse? What do you have to say to those people?
Get away from me. What's wrong with you, man? No, you want to let me in, man? Come on.
Yes, thank you. Now, since I filed that report, I did hear from someone from Jesse Jones' camp. He has a camp of people. I've got that here. I folded it over in half. I'm not sure why, but that's what the people on the news do. And from Jesse, it says, quote, you got Jesse. So I guess I got him. Love you, Jesse. Here's the big one. Take a look at this category, investigative report, for which I will enter next year. The Emmy goes to
Tonight, the King 5 investigators exposed that Hanford executives misled public officials and citizens alike about leaking nuclear waste for several months last year. In her continuing investigation, Hanford's Dirty Secrets, Susanna Frame reveals the danger of an important tank at the site was concealed during meetings for the public and policymakers.
Well, this is really cool. Thanks so much. First, of course, broken record up here, but to Mark Ginther. Mark, I don't know if you know, but for about a year and a half, I've been in Eastern Washington, spending a lot of money. And I thank you for letting us just do our thing and go after what we believed in. I also have to thank my family because I've really been gone for over a year. So thanks to Stefan and my 2 boys. And of course, to my team behind me here, Steve Douglas. The guy can edit. I mean, I think I've given him like just the worst of whatever, and he comes out with a piece of art. So thank you, Steve. And Russ keeps the whole ship going behind us. So thanks. And this, I want to dedicate this to all the Hanford workers.
I'd like to echo what Susanna was talking about. Hanford is on the other side of the state. I've spent the last year basically in a car with her. We've had some great times. But I want to thank my wife. Actually, we've collaborated a lot in the car while we're driving over there regarding the story. Strictly business. Back to my lovely wife, Carolyn. We all signed up for this crazy business. Long hours, a lot of travel. I spent more time in a hotel room by myself over the last year than I care to remember. So for Carolyn, thank you for the continued support. Thank you for your love. And I'll see you tonight, hopefully.
How do I follow that, except to thank Mark Ginther for taking a chance on a newspaper guy like me being a TV investigative producer. Thank you, Mark.
All right, the next category, general assignments within 24 hours. That's all you get. And the Emmy goes to.
Even though Christmas is still 2 months away, the holiday's coming early.
So we got a lot to do still. There's plenty.
It's less about getting presents this year, more about giving a gift.
It hurts. It hurts because she's just family.
They may not actually be family.
My parents are watching at home in Florida the streaming video of this. They have inspired me and supported me for so long, and I cannot thank them enough, so thank you. Steve Federiska, the incredible photographer behind this piece, is not here tonight. I handpicked him for this because I knew he would do a hell of a job. So thank you, Steve. Thank you to the incredible photography staff at Como. Day in and day out, you are above and beyond some of the best to work with in this business. Holly Gaunt, I don't know where you are. 5 years ago, you took a chance on me, so thank you. It changed my life. The people at Como have been through hell and back this year. And I could not feel more honored to be a part of that family. So thank you so much. This is such an honor. Thank you.
The next category is general assignment, no time limit. Some of these nominees still shooting these stories. And the Emmy goes to...
One.
It's the last day standing between Madeline Kuhnla
This is for nausea.
and the carefree life a 6-year-old girl is supposed to live.
Madeline's been very strong from the get-go.
This is her final dose of chemotherapy and a long battle with leukemia.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I am so excited for Jake Wittenberg. I'm not sure if this is his first Emmy, but he wanted to say hello. And he's like, if we win tonight, go up and accept for me. And I'm like, you jinxed us, hello. So he sent me this video of him knocking on his wood deck, and so we're okay. But Jake is a fantastic partner in storytelling, and I just want to encourage young reporters and journalists out there to keep working at it. Jake reworked that script over and over and over and over again, and had so many different people telling him what to do. He's like all crazy, but he came through in the end, and I'm just so proud to work with him, and it's just so exciting. So thanks, you guys.
He's a Midwest guy living a Northwest life.
And good morning at 6 o'clock. I'm Dan, and this is Stephanie. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Dan Kleckner.
A great team out there at East Valley Junior. Welcome you to tonight's parade. Dan Kleckner has been the face of Spokane television since 1985.
Lots going on. We've got Meade and Ferris and GSL.
A sports anchor.
And with us, we begin with breaking news.
A newsman. He's done it all.
Hey, we just had
He is a person that shows integrity. He's consistent every day.
We do want to warn you, some of the details behind this story are disturbing.
He really prides himself in being prepared. He prides himself on knowing the story.
He's a leader when it comes to getting the breaking news on. He can just get it on the air cleanly and with a commanding presence. That is something so valuable in an anchor.
Breaking news, a man has been arrested.
He's somebody that I look up to and I admire and respect, and I don't think I could have gotten a better partner.
It's his pride for perfection that has placed Dan among the all-time greats in television news. But it's his personality that's won over a region and a newsroom.
We all know that Danny is the consummate professional. He's the rare guy, though, that one day he can lead the newsroom and the next day he can be the mastermind of the practical joke. And that's what made working with Dan so fun over the years. Kleckner, I'm gonna kill you. Probably the biggest joke he played on me was the night when I'm coming from the plasma. He's got a bottle of water. He pours the bottle of water on my seat. I sit down basically in a puddle of water. It's the old wet chair trick. I fell for it. I'm sitting in a pool of water right now.
But as much as we love to joke, at KHQ we all know it's not his pranks that got him here tonight.
Did you watch their demeanor?
It's his journalism, his leadership, and his incredible work for the people of the Inland Northwest.
Now, you know, I've mentioned this before.
That's why it's so special that he is being honored with this award, because he deserves it. His work ethic is unmatched with anybody in the newsroom.
And I think a lot of folks have gotten to know the real Dan Kleckner. He is gracious, he's kind, he's giving, he cares. There are just too many words out there to use for him, but he is an all-around wonderful person, and I think that shows with the amount of years that he's been in this community. People love him.
He's the trifecta. He's the consummate professional. He's the guy that everybody can look up to in the newsroom. He's been able to balance his family with his job better than anybody I've known. And most importantly to me, he's been a great friend. I'm better for it. I think the community is better for it, having had him here at KHQ for so many years.
Way to go, Dan. Dan the Man Kleckner. The next category is sports, single news story or series. There are your nominees. And the Emmy goes to.
back in December, J.R. Bunda was working out on the track here at the Chow Center, getting ready for the baseball season. But he collapsed, and his heart stopped.
Teammates Ryan Barr and Travis Peterson were there.
Bunda started squealing for air, and that's when we looked at each other in panic.
And then I realized something was wrong, so I told Travis to go get help.
Just want to accept this on behalf of Paul Stewis and Carl Click. Thank you.
And hey, since we're doing sports, holy catfish, there is a second winner in this category. And that Emmy goes to...
Walk a mile in this man's shoes, and you'll see a lot. Walk a mile in this man's shoes, and you'll see torture, survival, resilience, and hope.
If you come in here with a dream, America.
Come on, there we go. Come on, sports segment, let's go. Congratulations.
Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to KHQ, who still does specials and features beautiful things happening in the Inland Northwest, including Bloomsday. And also a huge special to our photographer, or a thank you, I should say, to our photographer, Josh Godfrey, who is amazing. He couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted to dedicate this award to his mother, who passed away in March at the age of 63.
Seconds to Josh, who's a phenomenal photographer. I'd like to also thank John Collette, who couldn't be here, who also contributed a huge story in this, and he's covering me back in Spokane, doing play-by-play for auto racing, which I can't imagine a worse punishment for one of my subordinates. So thank you, John, and thank you to my wife. Thank you.
Can I say a thank you to my husband, too, because I don't want to be one-up by Sam.
The next category, sports features segment. There's your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
A 24-year-old with big dreams.
Sam, come on back.
I could do anything. I could be a culinary chef. I could be a lawyer, be a detective.
And one little secret.
I don't tell people that I fight.
That's right.
Wow. All right. I didn't have a speech for this one or the last one, so I'm really screwed. We have an emergency at our table, number 34. We are out of white wine. So I'll trade you one of these for 2 bottles of white wine. That's all I ask. All right. Thank you.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. There is another winner in this category. Way. And that Emmy goes to...
And a captain of the U.S. national team.
My mother is this beautiful model. My dad, this amazing muscular soccer star. It was like having Wonder Woman and Superman as your parents.
But their son, Aaron, as titled in one poem, was more like the Crooked Prince.
If you make a fist, that's what my legs are doing consistently.
Aaron DeRico has cerebral palsy.
I first want to thank my beautiful fiancée, Shayna Coyer. We're getting married 3 weeks from tonight, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to also thank my parents. I also want to thank our news director, Erica Hill, and everybody at Q13 Fox. I want to accept this on behalf of everybody at Q13 Fox who does such great work that sometimes doesn't necessarily get recognized for that amazing work. So thank you guys over at Q13. And I also want to thank Aaron DeRico for letting us into his story, and also Pat O'Day for allowing us to tell his story as well in his association with Aaron DeRico.
Ditto.
Well done, gentlemen. The next category, sports program series. It's a duel, and the Emmy goes to...
Pete Carroll always says it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Can you win a game in the first quarter? No!
First 15 in the book, and it's been all Redskins here at FedEx Field.
Can you win the game in the second quarter? No!
Now the game has settled down, and they've really gotten back on their stride.
Win the game in the third quarter! No!
I think the ball came out. Oh, wow!
Thank you. I want to thank my boss at the Seahawks, Brian O'Connell. Gave me a call and said, I've got a couple of Seahawks shows I'd like you to produce. And I said, well, this job as an overnight security officer is pretty sweet. But made the move. And I want to thank everyone at Root Sports, my editor, Derek, Kevin, Photog, Andy on audio, and my host, Jen Mueller, Angie Mentink, Warren Moon, and everyone at Seahawks Saturday Night. I share this with you. Thank you.
Go Seahawks, and here comes sports one-time special. And that Emmy goes to...
My visual field is I have no central vision, and I have no peripheral vision. Outside, hop, break! I have a little bit of vision between there, and it's about 4 to 6 feet.
Thanks to Danielle Umstead for letting us into her life. Thank you to my fiance, Alyssa, so that I can get home safely tonight. Thanks to my family watching on the web stream back home in Florida as well, and also to the great family at Comcast Sportsnet that has renewed my faith in this business. You guys are fantastic. Carlin Gibson, you talked about the photographers who are awesome, the people in the edit bay doing the great work, who sit there in the dark room making all this happen. Carlin Gibson, thank you so much. Thanks.
Next category, sporting events. This is a game, live, unedited program special. There's the nominees, and this Emmy goes to...
Anthony Davis is back, and they're ready to take off. Can Damian Lillard's role continue? Can the Blazers protect the home court? It's Portland and New Orleans, and it's coming up next.
As painful as it might be, I will accept an NBA Emmy for the Blazers on their behalf. They couldn't be here with us tonight, but congratulations, guys. Great work. And guess what? There is a second winner in this category. And that Emmy goes to...
Day breaks on the Inland Empire and Roos Field, where two powers of FCS football and their fans are ready to give it everything they've got. Will it be the Bobcats or the Eagles who will take control in the Big Sky? The answer is on the way on Root Sports.
I think I, like so many others, spend a lot of time away from home, especially weekends during the fall, whether it's Seahawks or Big Sky football. I could not imagine a better group to travel with and to work with on Saturdays than my crew at Root Sports for Big Sky football. Thank you very much.
Growing up in Hawaii, I never imagined I'd become a journalist. And then, my senior year in high school,
The Miss Teenage America Pageant.
This.
I mean, you travel to every city. You're interviewed by newspaper reporters, radio, television reporters. I began to think, hey, this is a job I could do.
San Francisco won't fall into the sea. At Stanford, I interned at KPIX in San Francisco, also wrote for the Stanford Daily and the Honolulu Advertiser.
For Channel 5 Eyewitness News, this is Lori Matsukawa.
Got my first television reporting job in Redding, California, where I shot and edited my own silent 16mm film.
The new commissioner is...
Next stop, KPTV in Portland, Oregon. We still shot film. This was one of the first stories I covered when I came to Como in 1980. Pays to work the weekend shift.
Wake Up with Lori Matsukawa and Tony Ventrella.
And few people remember that I co-anchored Como's first morning newscast with Tony Ventrella. It was called Wake Up. In 1983, I was recruited to King by Don Dunkel, who was launching a new news program called Top Story. The limit here is 4 per person per day. King allowed me to be the reporter I'd always wanted to be, discovering the beauty of Washington State and its people, and traveling.
Well, it was a very small group
to Hawaii to cover the 50th anniversary of the Pearl Harbor attack.
Now they're demanding some of the benefits of their hard work.
Japan with Peg Achterman to showcase Washington apples, timber, and software. This used to be just a little creek that ran under this bridge. Honduras with Ken Jones to show viewers the earthquake relief our troops were providing.
Regional primaries.
The Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primaries, when I actually got to see George W. Bush.
But perhaps it was more successful serving as a highway.
One of the most memorable and grueling assignments was covering Governor Gary Locke's first trade mission to China with Dave Weick. They treated America's first Chinese-American governor like a rock star. Woo! And what a thrill to carry the Olympic torch and cover the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City and Vancouver, BC. I'm personally grateful for being allowed to document the history of the World War II incarceration of Japanese Americans and their fight for redress in the living rooms, meeting halls, and courtrooms of Washington State.
The veterans will be honored.
Plus, the heroism of Nisei's soldiers. And people. Yep, I got to talk to a lot of people. And at King, I was able to support the next generation of journalists through the Asian American Journalists Association.
Well, we've got to prime the pump. We have to get young people into college. We've got to get them interested in journalism, and we've got to give them the means to support themselves.
It gave me the motivation.
Many of our scholarship winners and mentees are working journalists today. Above all, we kept it fun.
Watch King 5 News at 11.
Get paid to go places and talk to people? This is a job I can do.
Lori Matsukawa. Congratulations, Lori. Well deserved. Folks, we're getting ready to jump into an interactivity category, which has become, of course, an increasingly important part of your job. So many of you work on the go. Have you taken advantage of the Twitter wall? Use the hashtag NWEmmys. Your messages, your pictures will appear up there. So many of you have to work all the time, right? On your phone, you've got to engage. For me, with this, I have so much more confidence than ever before. Mostly because mine is not a phone, it's a flask. It looks like a phone. You would never know, right? It's great. I take it everywhere. It's really handy. I can get you one of these. Take a look. Here are the nominees for interactivity. Ooh. And the Emmy goes to...
The struggle over raising the minimum wage has hit the Northwest.
We don't make enough money to get by.
But can employers afford to flip the hourly pay from $9.19 to $15 an hour?
I would have to close.
Coming up, a live public forum about the minimum wage. It's a hot button issue for Seattle's political candidates.
It's just impossible.
Wow, well, I just want to say thank you to the entire Seattle Channel team who helped produce this show. We like to joke at the Seattle Channel that this show, it takes a village. It is a huge show. Literally everyone on staff works on this, along with pretty much all of our freelancers, and a few friends. We also have some great community partners with Town Hall and City Club. We could not do this show without their help at all. I just want to thank our general manager, John Giamberso, for all of his support every time we come to him with a crazy idea, and Ed Escalona and Daryl Peck for making all of our interactivity dreams come true when we say, hey, let's try this, and then they magically make it work on TV. And I also want to thank my husband and my parents who are watching this on the live stream in Boise, Idaho. Thank you for all your love and support. And just thanks again. We are so thrilled.
Hey, Lori. Great to follow Lori. Hey, me. So this was one of the hardest shows I've ever produced in recent memory. It was pulling out teeth to do a live show with a live audience and interactive and a lack of panelists. And all of you producers out there know what I'm talking about, but we pulled it out, put together a great show, and in case I don't get to come up here again tonight, I want to thank Brian Callanan for taking a leap of faith and coming to the Seattle Channel a few years ago. He's a great talent, and we're so thrilled to have him.
Yes, ditto.
This award's all about Susan. Thank you, Susan. I always think that whatever we accomplish in this life, we stand on the shoulders of giants. And even though Susan's about 5'3", she is a giant in this industry, and I thank you for all that you've done for this show. And thank you to Megan for putting together a great show. Thanks to Matt Peterson and all the crew that's out there, Ralph Evans and all the group that was on this show. We put together a really good program talking about minimum wage, and guess what? Maybe it's our fault, but we have a $15 minimum wage in Seattle, so that happened. This is a huge award. Thanks to my wife, and family for giving me the support that I've needed to be here today. I last got an Emmy back in 1998. I think Lori Matsukawa was 12 years old, if I'm doing my math right there. But this is a huge honor for us, and thanks to the Seattle Channel. Thanks to John Giamberso for hiring me on, and I'm really proud of what we've done. Way to go, Seattle Channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next category is informational instructional feature segment. There are your nominees, and here is who wins this Emmy.
My name is Giles Clement, and I'm a wet plate collodion photographer. So you want a photo of you and your dog for your dad?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually Schaefer.
On behalf of Katrina Sarson, who's the producer of this segment, thank you very much. 15 years ago, Oregon Public Broadcasting took a chance on arts coverage, and we've kind of developed that a little more. So this is wonderful recognition of Oregon Art Beat's 15th season. Thank you very much.
Next category, also informational, instructional. This is for program special. And the Emmy goes to...
Your feet go numb, your hands go numb, your muscles start to contract. You have to try to bring the heat back to your core.
I could feel my heart going really slow, and my heart started cramping up. Probably one of the scariest parts.
Regardless of how good you swim,
Sorry we put you all the way in the back. Next year, we'll shuffle you right up front. Congratulations, round of applause, folks. That's yours. Repeat.
All right, so Nick Bradford is a friend of mine, and so I am accepting this on his behalf. He's an extremely talented young man, and good job, Nick. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Here comes our next category, interview discussion. This is for program or special. There's your nominees. And this Emmy goes to...
Hi, I'm John Jacobson, and we're here today to meet Tom Kundig. Tom is one of America's great architects, and he works here in Seattle at the firm Olson.
We put you in the back of the room as well. We wanted to give you a seat with a view of their heads, most of their heads. Congratulations.
Wow. First of all, completely unexpected. I just want to thank my parents, number one, for all their love and support. I want to thank Kevin for his amazing work on the show. John Jacobson was the host. He's not here tonight, but thank you to him as well. Thank you real quickly to Steve Poole for the pep talk he gave me outside right before this. I got the first one. And that's it. Go ahead, Kevin.
Wow, what a great show. We got to fly around the U.S. and interview people like Jason Alexander, John Legend. I mean, just interviewing them about the process of art. We can't thank John Jacobson enough. He was the host of the show. You saw him up there. Couldn't be here tonight. I'm not sure what I'm more excited about, though. The Emmy or the fact that Steve Poole just told me he was going to be in my independent film coming up here next year. So that's pretty cool. But hey, I want to say thank you to everyone at PBS that works there. That's great. To my wife, Bree, that's sitting back there. To John Jacobson, Greg Mogar, producer, and of course, Chris, who did a lot of work on the show, and anyone else I forgot. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Each year, our people distinguish themselves with consistently excellent work. And sometimes along the way, careers and lives come to an end. Our fellow workers leave us, sometimes slowly and quietly, and sometimes in a sudden, shocking moment.
And what is just a very stunning day here at Como Television as Air 4 has crashed at the base of the Space Needle.
What began as a routine day suddenly burst into flames as veteran photographer Bill Strothman and pilot Gary Fisner perished when their news helicopter crashed seconds after takeoff from Como Studios. Lost were two men who shared a love of flying. Bill was a compassionate newsman, a man of principle whose storytelling earned him 13 Emmy Awards. Gary was a dedicated pilot who loved adventures and flew helicopters for several news stations. Kevin Straley was another accident victim, this time a motorcycle wreck on August 9th. Kevin won an Edward R. Murrow Award, 22 Emmys, and in 1999 was named Photographer of the Year by the National Press Photographers Association. Kevin was respected as a gifted storyteller and a mentor to other aspiring photojournalists. Patricia Costello was the first female editing at KCTS and was a trailblazer for women seeking careers in engineering. She carried out a 32-year career at Channel 9 and played a key role in the station's transition from tape to broadcast servers. Lou Guzzo's life spanned 94 years, during which he helped elect former Governor Dixie Lee Ray, worked for both the Seattle Times and PI, wrote several books, and appeared regularly on Cairo radio and TV as an editorial consultant. Guzzo's daily commentaries on local issues were a staple in local broadcasting. His investigative work led to indictments against more than 50 government officials on corruption charges. Polly Crook was a veteran reporter for KBOI TV in Boise, aggressively covering local government in Idaho's capital. She later became news director at Channel 2. Polly helped to found the Boise chapter of the NAACP and led the effort to establish the Idaho Human Rights Commission. Jim Compton's career took him to Cairo and London with NBC. A Fulbright scholar, Compton joined King in 1985 and produced the Compton Report, a weekly news program. He was later elected to the Seattle City Council, serving from 1999 to 2005. Last March, Compton was found dead in his car of an apparent heart attack. Brian Garvin spent nearly 20 years as a photographer at K2 in Portland. He loved the Northwest and loved capturing it on film. Brian was diagnosed with cancer in 2012 and fought it bravely until finally losing the battle last May. He won multiple Emmys, and his love of music allowed him to match nature and music brilliantly. Dave Rockwell shot video for Cairo for 27 years. He specialized in underwater photography and played a major role in the development of the Edmonds Underwater Park. Dave drove around the world and is very well known for his underwater videos and photographs. Dave died at his home in Bellevue after a battle with kidney disease.
I've always been a grumpy old bastard, even when I was young.
To outsiders, that describes Ken Schramm, who passed away last month of an internal infection. A co-worker compared Ken to creme brulee, crusty on the outside, soft, gooey, and sweet on the inside. For 35 years, he served Como as a reporter, commentator, host, and radio personality. Whether it was calling out examples of bad government or handing $5 to a homeless person, Ken was tough one moment and a softie the next. There was a rule among public figures: whatever you do, don't win a Schrammy.
So take a bow, because this Schrammy is for you.
Our next category is special event coverage other than news or sports. There's your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
This may be the most significant, if not extraordinary, era in long-distance mushing. A storybook 4-year run to Iditarod enshrinement by a character of the game, whose last name is ribboned through the history of this race, followed by its first
Are you coming to accept? Are you just coming? No, he's just sitting. We'll accept it. I'll take it home and hold on to it until they contact me. Congratulations. We have a special guest intro from a whole other state. Take a look.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe Vithaithel with Fox 12 Oregon. We're in downtown Portland to announce the nominees for Best Spot News Coverage. Now, spot news can be anything unexpected that happens during the course of a newscast, from a wildfire to a police standoff to a bunch of people running in front of your camera and ruining your live shot. Anyway, yes, like that. Anyways, here are the nominees.
Thank you to Joe V there. There's your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
in downtown Seattle.
Don't be right up on it. Please give us a little working space. I appreciate that, sir.
As May Day breaks down to mayhem.
Look out! Look out!
Police move in to make arrests, but protesters fight back, ganging up on some officers.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Mayday, you know it's going to be a long day, and on a long day you need good people, and good people are right over there, and I want to thank those people for the planning and the leadership and the bodyguards. Thank you very much. We really appreciate this. It took a team of people, great photographers and reporters working together to get through what was a very, very interesting day, but yay, thank you. Go home team.
There is a second winner that was just as qualified to receive an Emmy. And that Emmy goes to...
A peaceful demonstration descends into violence. May Day marches explode in flashbangs.
And pepper spray as police face off with protesters to control the chaos. 8 police officers are hurt and 18...
I'm just standing here again because I'm the news director. This goes to all the people in the field, the photographers, the reporters, who have to navigate really a dangerous situation. So here's to all of you guys, and to the assignment editors who help tell them where to go. On that note, though, I want to say one thing, and then I'm going to digress. This has been a really hard year for Como. It's been a hard couple of years for Como. We have lost some really wonderful people. And I want to pay tribute to them. And I also want to pay tribute to our competitors who helped us in those hard times. But mostly, to everyone at Como. You guys have persevered despite some horrific, horrific times. You're a class act, and I adore you.
Dee Sarton has been a journalist nearly her entire adult life. Just out of high school, she happened upon her first TV job. She became known as the Weather Girl at KVEW in the Tri-Cities.
It's been a long time ago, but I can remember what it was like to be so scared in the newsroom, to be sent out on a story that I knew nothing about, and just to be frightened.
It wasn't long before fear became fascination and would turn to a lifelong career. Dee went on to KAPP in Yakima, then took a job at KXLY in Spokane before coming home to KTVB in 1977.
Can you tell us how that felt?
It was easy to see, even in her first days on air here at Channel 7, that Southern Idaho had landed someone special. Someone who would politely decline all opportunities to go to larger markets and instead chose to raise her family here, at a place that allowed, even welcomed, bringing her family into the many wonderful stories she told, whether on the road with Idaho at 5 or as the host of the Exploring Idaho and Incredible Idaho series.
And now that you are out, what do you want to do with your life?
The award-winning journalist was KTVB's reporter for the John Jesse Turner hostage story, one of the biggest stories of the 90s in Idaho. She was there in Germany when he was reunited with his Boise family.
That of Governor.
Her chops as not only a storyteller, but also a serious reporter sharpened quickly, and she became the station's political debate moderator and party headquarters correspondent on every election night.
Folks are going for cover, but they're sticking around because, as the governor said, this will pass very quickly.
And when it comes to getting rattled on live TV, we've never seen it. Even while co-anchoring fair coverage with Governor Cecil Andrus during a driving rainstorm at the fairgrounds that tore apart a hay bale set, Dee was and is unflappable. For the past 15 years, she has been a frontline soldier for children looking for families to adopt them.
I won't ever forget the day that they called me into a meeting and said, Dee, we want to talk to you about something. Would you consider being the reporter for stories every week on children who need homes? And I mean, how would you ever say no to that? I mean, that was such a privilege really for me to be brought into that and to be given that responsibility.
You've got me.
Her award-winning Wednesdays Child segments and her board membership on the Special Needs nonprofit organization is forever part of who she is, now and forever.
You know, I fell into this business. It was just something that happened. I didn't plan it. I certainly never, ever in a million years thought I would work in one place for over 30 years. And no, most people don't. And so to be able to do that, to raise my family in such a special place, and really to be part of a station that believes we have a responsibility to make this a special place, to help in that effort, to keep it, what we always say, the greatest place in the world to raise your kids. It has been for us, and Channel 7 has been a part of that, just as a great job, great employees, great friends to work with, but also a great mission statement to try to live up to.
On behalf of everyone at Idaho's News Channel 7 in Boise, thank you, Dee, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Dee.
Hi, I'm Brad Brooding. Coming up on the next Northwest Side Roads, we've traveled across the state to the very edge of Oregon to take you deep inside this remote and untouched stretch of forest. We've been given exclusive access to this hidden trail, and for the very first time on video, we're going to show you an incredible,
newly discovered waterfall.
Sorry, we're sort of doing a TV show here, so if you want to...
Well, so are we, actually.
Let me introduce myself. Brad Brooding, Northwest Side Roads.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm Gary Goody, Northwest Side Roads.
So you guys call your show Northwest Side Roads also?
Well, sorta. I mean, we call it Portland's Northwest Side Roads.
Okay, look, I don't want to pull rank here, but we've been doing our show for some time now, and we've been given exclusive access to this trail.
Okay, well, we are going to have exclusive access to that waterfall, okay? You can have the trail.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should have clarified. We will be getting the exclusive shot of that waterfall.
Let me clarify. You can get exclusive access to your car where you can drive back to Seattle and cry about the Sonics, okay? Have a good time up there, all right?
I will drive back. In the meantime, why don't you hop on your hipster bike, pedal back to Portland, and do everything we've already done in Seattle 10 years ago, okay? So,
that's how it is, huh?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You gonna do something?
I am gonna do something. I'm gonna do something right now,
Well,
exclusive.
Let me start with this. Oh, you didn't. Did you? Nope. You see what you made me do? You see? Oh, feel that adrenaline. Oh, I haven't done this in some time. Oh, boy. Oh. That's why you always bring a shovel. You never know. You're gonna have to bury a body.
Shame on you for applauding, but thank you. The next category is documentary cultural. Are you nominated? Here are the nominees. And that Emmy goes to...
We're horse people, you know, we're always gonna have that in our blood. You know, they're our four-legged brother. We gotta pray with them, talk with them. Give them a good blessing. They treat you well, you treat them well.
Come on up. We've been waiting for your turn. Here you go. Those are yours.
I'll take one. Okay. Hi. Let's see, first, I'll just jump right into it. We'd like to thank John and Carol Murray and Aaron Pruitt for supporting this project from the get-go, and Molly Murray for initially suggesting it. ML Smoker for her early steadfast support and work, and Darren Kipp for his production help. Of course, all the relayers who gave us access into their lives. And the crew who brought life to this concept. Lastly, the sponsors who believed this story was an important one and made it happen. So, thank you.
Congratulations. We have another documentary category. Take a look. This is for historical. There are your nominees, and this Emmy goes to...
Construction had begun. The first full-scale nuclear reactor in the world went critical, or into a controlled, self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction. But there was a problem.
And the reaction started to cool down by itself. And then...
On behalf of Nadine Jelsing and Oregon Public Broadcasting series, Oregon Experience, thank you very much.
Way to go, OPB. Here comes another documentary category. This one is topical. That thing everybody's talking about. There's the nominees. And here's who the Emmy goes to.
To survey, map, and photograph the caves begins.
There's something really magical and beautiful about this unknown, pristine area that I'm just really attracted to. It's just hard to believe that there's wild places out there that nobody's stepped foot on.
All right, to the three Steves that made this happen, Steve Amon, David Steves, and Steve Bass, to Brent and Eddie, who were crazy enough to explore caves inside a glacier and take us there and keep us safe while we were there. To our incredible photographers, Andy, Todd, Katie, Hayden, and Sean. Peter? No, just Sean. And to the gods of Mount Hood who kept us safe while we were up there. Thank you very much.
I just have to say, I've been doing this for 15 years, all kinds of wild stories for Oregon Field Guide, and you don't know teamwork
until you're 150 feet below the glacial ice, rappelling down a waterfall inside of the glacier. It's pretty magical stuff, and I'm glad we get to do it. Thank you.
We will take your word for it. Next category, public, current, community affairs, feature segments. There's your nominees. Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
I decided to open a coffee shop after a series of, I guess, life-changing events. In 2012, I was in not one, but 3 car accidents in a span of 5 months. I hit my head, traumatic brain injury, vision problems, all kinds of health.
Here to accept, Ralph Bevins.
Hello again. I'd like to thank Joya Iverson and Tin Umbrella in Hillman City. Shannon G, the executive producer of Community Stories, John Gimberso again, and Mom, Dad, Matthew, Kate, Beth. Thank you very much.
Go with another public, current, community affairs category. This one is for program or special. There's your nominees, and the Emmy goes to.
Excuses for my wrongdoing.
It's a stressful situation when you're sitting there and you have all these people looking at you and you're basically telling some of the unpretty parts of your life story.
Rather, I'm here to ask you to help me to gain the opportunity to be a valued member of Washington society in the future.
And you're asking for forgiveness.
TVW making their way to the stage. Congratulations. Those are yours.
Starsha Agnew is just an incredible young lady, and it was a real privilege to be able to tell her story. Really want to show my appreciation to David Johnson and Jason Goots, who couldn't be here tonight. He's another one at TVW who just had a baby, who is home with his newborn. But David, please.
Jason couldn't be here tonight, so I'll read his remarks. I'll be quick. Jason Goots would like to thank Starsha Agnew for her patience and help while we worked on the documentary. Professor Sean Brixley, who had 2 video classes at the UW Art Building during the mid-1990s when Jason was a general arts major. He told Jason that he should pursue his career and apply for an internship. Ralph Bevins, who was the videographer for King 5's Almost Live, Jason's first internship. He gave Jason a Betacam SP tape of footage and a script and said, do what you want to do something with this. That became Jason's first broadcast piece. Angela King, who was a video journalist at Northwest Cable News, Jason's second internship. She let Jason tag along during shoots and gave him a video tape and do what he wanted when time permitted. She gave Jason access to footage. This landed Jason his first full-time job in video and Northwest Cable News. And I would like to thank my beautiful family, my awesome TVW colleagues, and Starsha for letting us tell her incredible story. Thank you.
Wow. Congratulations, TVW. I just got a text message here. No, I didn't. But I can confirm that there is a second winner in this category. Could it be you? The Emmy goes to...
In October 2011, the Condit Dam on the White Salmon River was breached with the blast of 700 pounds of dynamite. At the time, it was the largest dam in the world ever removed. This explosion released...
All right, well, big thanks to Steve Bass, our fearless leader at OPB, and Steve Amon, who actually started Oregon Field Guide when I was 3 years old. Thanks a lot. And another big thanks to Ed Yan, who produced the Glacier Caves show, which also just won an award for all the support and giving me all these opportunities at OPB, and also to National Geographic, who I partnered with on this project. So thanks a lot.
I was going to thank Andy. Actually, I really do want to thank Andy. First off, I want to thank Ed, because Ed was so busy working on Glacial Caves, which just won, that he wasn't able to help out with salmon, although he was one who was really sort of instrumental in getting it going. Andy's an independent who worked with us, absolutely amazing on both these projects. We couldn't have done it without him. I really want to thank him for it. And I just want to point out, because I'm a braggart, that we did 13 shows last year on Oregon Field Guide. 3 of them won Emmys. Not bad. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe V. Hill with KTVA 11 News in Anchorage, down here in our award-winning news studio. Or am I? Maybe I'm on Mount McKinley or on the banks of the Kenai River waiting for the salmon run. Whether it's on location or using a green screen in a studio like this at Denali Media, commercial production can be an important complement to any show or newscast you may watch. Here in the Northwest, we are fortunate to have many great production teams and agencies that can create a world to help local businesses grow and nonprofits prosper. Here are the 2014 nominees for Commercial Single Spot.
And the Emmy goes to...
You'll never see the same Woodland Park Zoo twice.
Every day, every animal inspires awe.
The young and wide-eyed.
The wild.
The practically prehistoric.
Each generation more unpredictable than the last.
Discovery and surprise lie around every corner.
Wow. Okay. Wow, we'd like to thank the Academy for this great honor. So many people. Blair Pickler for original music composition, Crush for their design and animation, Clatter and Din for original sound design, and most importantly, Woodland Park Zoo. Every day they do amazing animal education and animal conservation efforts. Donate to the zoo, bring your kids there. This is for the animals. Thank you.
In 1966, a high school senior from Ottawa, Kansas, showed promise as a cinematographer with a knack for capturing the personalities of people and a sense of place.
First, while we're downtown, I'd like to try on a new coat.
Shortly after, Tom Spear began his full-time career as a television photographer in Nebraska at such varied places as the University of Nebraska Medical Center, Cinegraphics, and Nebraska Educational Television. Dateline Nebraska now in 1979, Tom moved west to join the team at KCTS 9, Seattle's public television station.
And keep paddling. He was just excited about everything. It was kind of his attitude, I thought, was contagious, and he could do anything, and he said, let's go do it.
Along with giving audiences an intimate look at events around town, Tom continued to highlight places and people.
You go first. Thank you.
See planes take off and land toward the wind.
Tom photographed the experiments of Bill Nye, the Science Guy, and the streets of New York with Nick Stellino, the heat of the Southwest desert, and the cold at the top of Mount Rainier.
We worked a lot together. It was always an adventure to work with Tom. You already knew you were going to laugh, but you knew you might get mad too. He didn't suffer fools easily, but yet when he was involved in the project, you can't imagine anyone better. I think he had the steadiest hand of anybody in town.
Tom also brought his talents and the ability to carry all his equipment at once to the look and feel of travel around the world.
He just sort of helped us invent the style. He can coax real life out of people in a very special way, and it's just amazing, you know, the quality of work that he has done all the way along.
Here is Tom Spear right now. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Marcy.
Guess what, Tom? You are going to host our holiday special. So we're here.
The Seattle Channel was more than fortunate to land Tom. His friendly enthusiasm and keen eye helped make the channel a go-to resource for Seattle arts and culture and local public and community affairs.
Having somebody who is not afraid to just jump in and do it. It was a little bit of the Tom Spear, Tom Sawyer, hey, let's all get together and, you know, put on a show.
Tom has done more than build community bridges and innovate and enhance the countless number of programs that have crossed his lens. From somehow covering an event with 3 cameras all by himself, or earning the nickname, the human tripod, for his steady handheld work, one could always rely on Tom to get the shot.
He's a guy who has just huge passion, and the city has been richer for it, the arts community has been richer for it, and certainly I have working with him. He's the hardest working guy in show business. They say that with James Brown, but I think it's Tom Spear. I really do.
Way to go, Tom. One of the greats indeed. Congratulations, Tom. But over 40 years in the industry. I mean, I can't even imagine when you started, you didn't have any of this technology, any of these resources, you had none of it. When I started, I remember it wasn't easy. I had like no Twitter followers. And so, you know, we've all got to build our careers, don't we? Congratulations. Here's a big category. There was a huge upset in this category, by the way, at the Nautical Awards I just hosted. Take a look. Anchor, news. Who's it gonna be? The Emmy goes to...
These events began. I got the chance to sit down with Oregon City's mayor and police chief. They say Officer Lipke's death will have a lasting impact on both the police department and the community. Watch this.
Looking back now, as we understand what happened here, Officer Lipke obviously killed, and the gunman shot himself.
I am not Steve Dunn, but I do sign his contracts every 3 years. Thank you for this. It's very well deserved. Steve is our rock and brings it home every night for us. Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's stay on news. News producers, some are in the room, some are nominated. Is that you? Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
They didn't seem to know that they were being watched on not just one, not just 2 cameras, but cameras in just about every corner of the store.
Stunning surveillance video from the medical marijuana dispensary where volunteers are held at gunpoint during an armed robbery. They're forced from room to...
I am not James Gorkos, but I work with him 3 days a week, and he deserves this very much. Thank you for him.
Breaking news, there is another winner in this category, another tie, and that Emmy goes to...
His role as the Skagit River Bridge collapses.
Vehicles and people plummet into the water below.
I assumed that was it at that point. There was no hope.
Miraculously, everyone survived.
A group of great rescuers and a good measure of luck. But how did one oversized truck...
Thank you so much. There's something that someone likes to say at King, every day is a school day, and I feel so blessed that I get to learn something new from my coworkers every single day. So thank you to everyone at King for making me better, and to my husband for putting up with my crazy, my news crazy. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next category is a difficult one. You know, when it comes to a news writer, you're essentially a lot of times reporting on the same thing, right? But the news writer's got to figure out a way to put your own twist, put it in your own way, put your own stamp on it. And that's a tough job, right? I don't know how you do that night after night after night. For example, okay, it's summertime, right? And I don't need to tell you that gas prices are on the rise. But I'll show you. Roll it.
Well, if you filled up your gas tank lately, then you don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you that gas prices are back on the rise.
You don't need us to tell you gas prices are on the rise. I know.
In fairness, we didn't need them to tell us that, but they all did. The good news is there's a lot of news writers in this room that write their own words. They put it in their own way, and there's a lot of them nominated here tonight. Let's take a look at the nominees for Writer News. And this Emmy goes to...
By the summer of 2014,
the crane's right here.
the construction site marked by this towering crane will be home to more than 300 apartments. But today, 2 guests moved in early.
Apparently the crane has been hijacked by a couple raccoons.
News spread quickly.
There's a reason everyone's cheering like this. My first Emmy nomination was in 2002, and it was for writing, which was awesome because that's the reason I got into this business, and most will probably tell you it's the reason I'm still employed. I didn't win that year, which was cool. It was fine to be nominated. And then I was nominated every single year since, and I've never won. And so I was literally the Susan Lucci of news writing. So in this, my 12th and final year of entering a regional news Emmy, this is an awesome honor. And it absolutely would not be possible without the photojournalists of King 5, who are my brothers. They are the ones who capture the moments and shoot the images that give me something to talk about. And if it wasn't for Jeff Christian, Scott Jensen, Matt Mrozinski, Doug Burgess, and all the other amazing photographers at King 5, there's absolutely no doubt I wouldn't be up here today. So thank you to those guys. Thank you so much.
Congrats to Joe. Good to see him doing so well on NBC. However, there is a second winner in this category. That doesn't cancel out yours, Joe. And that Emmy goes to...
Anything but what you've been doing.
I need to play the piano.
That moment.
Tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
When you realize the one thing that gave you so much comfort and joy doesn't give you any anymore.
You know,
the only reason I'm up here is because I shot that story. So, to John Sharifi, God bless you. Why do I keep saying that? But way to go. Thank you.
The very next category would be Writer for a Program. There are your nominees. Let's find out who this Emmy goes to.
You know, it's just kind of a reflection of how life works sometimes, that you find something of this magnitude, that we now have found the largest glacier cave system in the lower United States.
As soon as I came in, I was hooked.
He found 2 tubes, so we're...
It's amazing that when we pitched this story that the station management didn't think to consult their lawyers first. Thank you very much, Steve Bass and Steve Amon, for saying yes. Amelia, who brought this story to us, which has been the most amazing story for us to work on in a decade. And my wife, Devin, and Steve Amon's wife, Yvonne. Thank you very much. This is a huge privilege.
I think Ed said everything that needs to be said, so thank you.
This next category is near and dear to my heart. The first Emmy I ever received was for host moderator about 7 years ago. I only remember it because my daughter, who is actually in that photo, she's the one on the far right, Madeline, was born about 6 days before the awards. I was thrilled to be there, but I just desperately wanted to sleep. And when I got my name called, I realized how terrified I was because the Emmys are super pointy. That is the sharpest award of all the awards. So I did have to baby-proof it, and it's still, truly, they are in the garage on the highest shelf. They cannot be trusted. 7 and 4 are my daughters. If you have kids, keep the Emmys away from them. All right, here's the nominees for host, moderator. Take a look. Here's the nominees. Someone's life is about to change forever. The Emmy goes to...
The water here at the end of Leshai Park Pier is about 30 feet deep, which doesn't sound like a lot until you lose some.
Yes, that's me, trying to be an intrepid reporter with a snorkel, mask, and an underwater camera on my head. And that's the camera falling off my head and going...
Whoa, hey now. This is kind of huge. I've been nominated for a lot of awards over the last couple years with Emmys, and it's been great, but I gotta tell you, it's so much cooler to win. Wow. I gotta say thanks to the Seattle Channel. Thanks again to John Giambaroso for hiring me a few years ago. I really appreciate that opportunity. Thanks, of course, to my God and family for supporting me, but it's just a great station, and it does great work, and I appreciate Q13 Fox, too, for hiring me into this market. Way to go, Q13. But at the same time, it's very cool not to be doing live reports from Snoqualmie Pass and telling people that it's cold. No offense, okay? Thank you. This is a great honor. I'm gonna keep living up to it. I'm gonna keep on rocking. If you keep on rocking, let's do this. Yeah! Woo!
This man shaved this side of his face while watching commercial television. Listen closely.
Making a difference in television takes people who are skilled, creative, and above all, enthusiastic.
But he shaved the other side of his face while watching Public TV 9. Now just listen to this.
Cleve Tyson has been that person at KCTS since 1974.
5 seconds to program.
He's part of the DNA, its rootstock.
When I wake up from my bed.
Cleve's done everything in production, and he's been a part of the station's most important program history. Versatile to the extreme, Cleve is all in front of or behind the camera. You never know where he'll pop up.
Hello and welcome again to Are You Interested?
Wednesday morning starts off a chilly low of 12 degrees, peaking to a high of 12 degrees.
Post-production, the edit room, is where television has changed the most and where Cleve has been an extraordinary force. He's our brain trust.
Driving around and looking at old stuff from the city's past.
What it takes to put together a piece and get it on the air has changed radically. When you need someone to take those changes and make them real, take the new equipment, the new stuff, make it happen, it's Cleve.
You want to capture the viewer and have the viewer feel like they're part of the show right off top.
Okay.
See, because that music, that does it.
Okay. In the edit bay, the Tyson touch means the difference between a good show and a great show.
These are the games of the North.
Knowledge plus creativity.
He'd balance his body weight on his fingertips.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
What really sets Cleve apart? His can-do, positive, enthusiastic attitude.
Now that's what I call sound energy. Hey, leave that cow alone.
Often delivered with a Clevism.
Grandiloquent.
Salubrious.
Get a checkup from the neck up
To prevent hardening of the attitude.
It's a Clevism.
He's got some moves.
It is a quote that can only come from Cleve that basically talks about life as a whole and how you should live it.
He just wants to do the very best for you, and you couldn't ask for anything more from any coworker.
Make it work. Make it say something.
This was fantastic.
And make it beautiful. That's what television has to do. And that's what Cleve Tyson does every day, every show.
I think it's going to be really cool.
Way to go, Cleve. Congratulations, Cleve. All right, folks, our next category is for you reporters, and this is for general assignment. There are your nominees. Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
Aren't nearly as powerful as the sight of a crumpled car driven by a teenage girl who texted and died.
It shows us that texting and driving can be deadly, and it is deadly.
This car was one way for Shelton's Oakland Bay Junior High to send students their texting message.
Thank you.
Attaboy, Joe. Next category also for you reporters. This is for specialty assignment in the news division. The Emmy goes to...
A Christmas card for you.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You never forget, do you?
I know.
I've got about 13 of these.
TV and radio personality Pat Cashman.
Here's a complete chart of every time we've met.
Yes.
He's thinking of each personality as a building.
Richard's personalities.
Hey, happy holidays.
He just likes radio.
On behalf of John Sharifi, who's obviously phenomenal, thank you so much.
John is surely doing another story right now. Hey, guess what? There's another winner in this category. Let's find out who that Emmy goes to.
My nanogram level may have been 5.5 when I left the limo. If a blood test was taken then, I would have failed and gone to jail if I was driving. Logan says the 5 nanogram limit for a DUI should be lower.
I think it's too high for a per se level.
But the 5 nanogram limit isn't going to change.
Since that was a pot story, don't I get a vaporizer now on this one here? I want the vaporizer Emmy. That'll work well in my newsroom. In fact, I'm the only person in my staff, in my office, that actually have a drawer, and I legally have pot in it. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Holly and Janine again hey, you got to cover the story. You got to have the goods to show on camera. Anyway, I'd like to thank my wife, Carlissa, who's here for the first time for the Emmys after all these years. And again, to all the photographers, and especially on the particular story you just saw where we got high in a limo. So Eric Jensen and Randy Carnell get special credit because they couldn't drive home after that story. Thank you very much.
You're not the only one with pot in your desk, Matt. Next category, reporter, programming. There are your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
This hunt will only be successful in the cold, on snow, and in pitch darkness.
It's so perfect, we are gonna find them.
This is the domain of a creature from the underworld.
You seeing anything, Chris?
No, not yet.
If we're lucky, some may venture up onto
Welcome to OPB's latest game show, Watch the Old Man Limp. On behalf of Vince, all of you who live in Washington, You now know what the rest of us feel like every time we come to the Emmys and hear your response. So on behalf of Oregon, Montana, Alaska, and Idaho, thank you very much.
Congratulations. All right, sports fans, let's find out who the nominees are for Sports Anchor. There they are. Who's it gonna be? The Emmy goes to...
Ready for this? Another gorgeous summer night in the Pacific Northwest. Perfect conditions for football here in Seattle, Washington, where the 12th man has waited 7.5 months for the Seahawks to once again have home field advantage here at CenturyLink Field. This is the Seahawks pregame show presented by Sports Authority, the 11th all-time preseason matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the...
You're gonna have to move faster when you're married, dude. Just warning you.
Wow, I first want to thank Chris Egan from King TV, one of the hardest working sports anchors. I was really worried if he won this award that he was just going to win every single year. So Chris, back on the board, got you one. And I also want to thank our entire sports department, Steve Schrammick, Mark Rosen, Chad Bailey, and Michelle Ludka. They do a great job on a daily basis, and thank you so much for supporting me in everything that I do. And I just also want to thank the entire station, Q13 Fox. I'm incredibly honored to be the sports director at the official Seahawks and Sounders station. And Pam Pearson, our general manager, Erica Hill, our news director, for taking a chance on me 7 years ago. It's been a wonderful ride so far, and I really appreciate everything and all the support. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren from the Weather Channel. I'm excited to take part in the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards from Atlanta, Georgia. It certainly is a long way away from where I grew up and started to work. I started to work in Bend, Oregon, the Central Oregon region, one of the most beautiful places in the world. And across the country and across the world, the Pacific Northwest, the weather, amazing. To work there has been a dream come true, working with some of the most extremely talented people in the business, hands down. And now I'm still working with some very talented and amazing people. But I can tell you without a doubt, if you do now or ever have worked in weather in the Pacific Northwest, you're definitely a champion. Now it's my pleasure to show you the nominees for Weather Anchor.
There's Anchor Weather. And the Emmy goes to...
South of Tacoma right now. That's where the bullseye of these storms are, guys. Pierce County, Thurston County, Lewis County getting some heavy rain through Chehalis and Centralia. And while taking the wide shot, this is where the storms are focused. Just in the last hour, over 2,500 lightning strikes. We'll go to one cell that's just about to move into the Puyallup area. It's right over Ording right now. Puyallup already starting to see some heavier...
So I'm not Sam Margier, I'm the managing editor at Cairo, and I'm the guy who asked him to work tonight. So if it should happen that the Emmys end by 11, everybody watches Weather Tonight and clap for him.
Forecast calls for another winner in this category. Who could it be? Let's see, who do we know who's good with the Doppler? I know. Let's see if I'm right. We'll edit this out.
Jeff Renner with a look at the timeline and areas affected.
Well, Dennis and Lori, this could produce some fairly significant snow in places, but it's not going to last all that long. The key question, timing. If we go to radar right now, you'll not see much precipitation, but if we zoom in a little bit tighter, you're going to see some areas of white over the south end of Vancouver Island.
And I'm not Jeff Renner either. Though I sit next to him, he has a much deeper voice. But I've known Jeff for a number of years. He is steady, he is unflappable, he is good, as indicated by this award. I'll make sure he gets this on Monday. Thank you on behalf of Jeff.
You're probably wondering why I look so stupid standing up here before that award. Congratulations to them. You know why I am? Because I'm the president and I can hijack the awards. That's why I'm here. You know, something I didn't do when we won Spot News was to thank the absolute, in my opinion, and all you anchors out there are fantastic, but there is nobody as good at breaking news and spot news as Dan Lewis. And I just have to say, he just retired, and I think everybody in this room should give him a standing ovation because he is the consummate journalist and the best at spot news, and Dennis and all of you, all the anchors here are. But for us, he is the absolute best. And so my apologies for not thanking you.
Ed is our assignment desk editor, and Ed is a book of history of Seattle. Nothing got past Ed on the assignment desk, which is the person who listens to all those scanners and keeps track of what's going on.
I used to work the overnight shift, and at 3 a.m. he would be there, sometimes asleep on his desk. But one night he was not there. I had a question to ask him, and I called him at 2 a.m. He didn't answer. Then he called me back a little bit later and apologized profusely for not answering his phone at 2 a.m. Found out he was actually on vacation.
That has not changed to this day. Ed is the man. We're in morning meetings and something comes out of an obscure event back in the 80s or whatever, and Ed knows exactly what's going on. He helps truly to put everything into perspective.
He cares a lot about quality journalism. He cares about getting things right.
And he's extremely good at it, as so many people are here at King.
The long path that led Ed White to King 5 News is what you'd expect from a guy who's never been one for shortcuts. While a student at the University of Washington with the Vietnam War raging, Ed decided to enlist. The day he was supposed to go in
happened to be the day Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, so I was delayed a day.
As he came to know well, news has a way of changing things. When he returned from an 8-month tour, he went back to school, got a degree in economics, and then his law degree. By the late 70s, he was working at a downtown firm.
It was extremely challenging, and it was, needless to say, full employment plus.
Then came a chance encounter with a King 5 News anchor. The anchor wasn't that happy at King. Ed wasn't that happy at the law firm.
Within a couple of years, he had gone back to law school, and I'd gone back to the university and picked up some credits in journalism.
April 1983, Ed White went to work at King 5 News. First in production, then on the assignment desk.
You don't see it on the air, but it's a part of what we do.
More than 31 years later, he's still at it.
Mikhail, hi, this is Ed White at King TV.
If Ed sends a story your way, you want the finished product to be as solid as the 13-hour day that went into finding it.
When everybody is working on the common goal, hitting on all cylinders, it's just amazing to see the way the news and the newscasts come together.
King Mike may be the television station's mascot, but Ed White is Mr. King TV, a walking encyclopedia of history and current events, someone who works harder and smarter, someone always willing to listen to the voice at the other end of the line, a friend, a colleague, a confidant, a man whose contribution to the craft is greater than the sum of its parts.
The great Ed White. Way to go, Ed. All right, folks, take a look at the screens. Here comes the category for photographer, news. A lot of them in the room here tonight. You rely on a lot of them. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
once inside.
It looks like it's in the ceiling.
Seattle's International District on this cold December day.
Yeah, it looks like the bigger fire.
You could almost feel it.
There's so much more smoke now.
Smoke so thick it choked the air and had some choking back tears as they watched.
I'd like to thank Mark Ginther, first of all, foremost, for making photojournalism such a huge part of our staff philosophy. And I just want to say I can't do what I do without the great staff at King, photographers and the reporters and Ed White and Kelly and everybody. But I'd like to thank Doug and Jeff and Matt and Kurt Austin, who I remember watching his work in college and trying to emulate what he was doing way back then. And I'd also like to thank my wife, Carolyn, because it's because of a lot of the talk that we have off the clock, you know, that we're talking about storytelling, we're talking about photography all the time, and that really makes both of us better photographers. So thanks, you guys.
The next category is still for photographer, this time for program. Here are the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
It's a little lowy this time. Okay. I am not a cinematographer, but I did get to play with the footage. So thank you to the cinematographers for 500 hours. Mostly, again, we'd like to thank the relayers for intimate access into their lives, especially the ones who wore the cameras, frequently to their detriment. Often, they'd wear the GoPro and they'd end up crashing. And this happened so often that they thought they were cursed. Bad luck. But some of them would wear it anyway. And it gave us really powerful footage. So thank you for that. And I guess lastly, to the state of Montana for being so photogenic. You're so pretty, Montana. That's it. Thanks.
Next category is photographer video essay. There are your nominees. Let's see who takes home this Emmy.
I'm telling you, it'll soar.
It gives us an opportunity to practice remote setups. It is a carnival atmosphere sometimes.
Okay, going over here. Other slide.
You have to work at it.
A little bit better. How about that?
How's that? How's that?
I didn't say a word.
Come on, fella, keep talking.
Good, all right. I'm gonna tie off to a...
Not here tonight? You accepting on his behalf? Well, come on up here. Watch out for this man who's been crouching all night to take photos. Thank you. He's with us, not TMZ. Don't worry. Come on up.
Jordan's not here tonight. This is the closest I'll get to the stage. Jordan would probably make a kook joke at this point, you know, but he loves his Grizz.
Go Grizz.
And he has a beautiful baby girl on the way, and he said he's going to save money this year and not come, but he's got a nice statue that can accompany him in Spokane.
He was sure to text me right after I made the joke about the wine before, which, by the way, thank you for that. To thank our colleagues, everybody who's working at KHQ and SWX. And so for him, I would like to thank everybody at KHQ for embracing, not embarrassing, creativity. This is why I don't do speeches, I make jokes. We have a lot of talented people who frankly should not be in Spokane. They should be other places, and we are so
thankful and lucky to have them, and Jordan is the epitome of that. So thank you for Jordan.
This next category is still for you video journalists, but hey, you only get 24 hours. That's the limit. The Emmy goes to...
At the WCC tournament, you'll find the usual suspects. The cheerleaders, the fans, and plenty of media. But amongst Media Row, you'll also find a group of aspiring student journalists, learning what it's like to play in the big game.
We're supposed to be taking these photos.
These students are called the WCC Digital Team.
Dylan drinks beers are on me after we're done here. It was a privilege to be nominated alongside of you in this, but hey, it's great being able to represent KHQ for one last time up here. There's a lot of very talented people sitting out there at that table, people like Kelsey Watts and Dylan Wollenhouse and Gabe Ferguson, who have been nominated for the first time this year, and it's great to be able to represent you guys, because you know all you guys out here and this up here really shows that all the great work that is produced out in Spokane, that it always doesn't usually get the recognition that it deserves. So, and of course, thank you to my wife. So,
congratulations. All right, let's see who the video journalists are who got nominated for not having a time limit. There they are. Some still shooting right now in the parking lot. And the Emmy goes to...
Everyone has their own idea of what a monster is. I think a monster is whatever your imagination thinks a monster is. I remember being a kid and not wanting to let a hand or a foot dangle too far.
Hi, I'm not Tom Schreider, but I work with Tom on a daily basis. He's a wonderful videographer, editor, and storyteller. And on his behalf, in Oregon Public Broadcasting, thank you very much.
Norma's was at this for a long, long time. She never lost her edge. I never saw her less than completely enthusiastic about what she was doing and about life in general.
She had incredible heart, and she was willing to put it out there. I think for a lot of us, when we've been in a community for a long time, there's a part of us that we kind of hold off to the side. Norma was Norma all the time.
Very bright, very enthusiastic, very cooperative, and certainly community-minded. She was a Canadian girl from a small town, so the Anchorage, I guess, was like a larger town, but she never lost any touch with community affairs. She realized everyone has a responsibility, and when you have a medium like TV or radio, you have a responsibility to the public. And that she understood thoroughly. She came in like out of a storm because we didn't know what we were doing. Nobody on the staff of KTVA when we started had ever been in a TV station before. We had no idea what we're doing, but the idea was to do something for the community. And Norma came forward with this show. Nobody else on the staff had given any thought to that, but that's paramount for local TV, serve your community.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
And it's probably hard for people today to imagine a show that would be on at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning that would command a really huge audience, but this one did. It had a really big following. It was the show to put somebody on for public relations people around town, for people who were trying to promote events. It was the stock standard was, can you get this on the Norma Goodman Show?
When I think of Norma Goodman, I'm going to think about her reaching out and her willingness to go beyond what her borders are and what her own personal interests are to include everybody.
She was always available as a gentle voice that would remind you of what your duties were and your responsibilities and who you really worked for, which was not the station but the public. She was a person who could pull out of folks the information that needed to be put out, and that's a real talent,
because it's often a challenge. People want to be on television, but oddly enough, once they get on television, they have a very difficult time communicating what they're trying to say. And Norma made them feel comfortable. She was the kind of person who could get them to start talking. It was like talking to somebody they knew, which seemed to help a great deal.
Norma had the most incredible smile, and it was always personal. It wasn't just a general, how are you doing, and hoping that you'll just say fine. It was a genuine smile for you as an individual and acknowledging the special gifts that you have.
We should all be so driven and so dedicated to give back to our community as Norma was. It'd be a better place.
Norma Goodman. She left behind a wonderful legacy. We had a wonderful time spending the evening with some of her family last night. It was a great evening and a much deserved reward for Norma as well. All right, our next category, editors, are you out there? This could be you. This could be your moment. In the news category, there's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
All day long, Seattle braced for an unwanted encore.
Reporters become the laughing stock out here.
It started innocently enough with airborne silly string, but escalated to flying flashbang grenades. When protesters arrived downtown.
Fired flashbangs.
Clashes with police led to...
Thank you so much. Thank you. People still here. My dad's here tonight, and from Atlanta. And I'm so happy that he could be here to see this. So, and of course, the love of my life, Amanda Allender, who many people at King know. So, thank you.
Let's stick with editing here. Here's the nominees for Editor Program. And the Emmy goes to...
Paulie is what you call a mountain magnet. He had to be up there.
I've managed to avoid it for so long, for whatever reasons.
Of course, his family came first. It was also...
Well, I'm not Jordan Caskey, although I did edit this project as well. Jordan did not make the trip, as was alluded to before. I owe him a great debt of gratitude because he kind of made that project sing. I have to thank Alex Rozier. He is the man behind that project. It wouldn't have been made without him. I have to thank our friend and colleague Dave Summers and his entire family. They allowed us to go along with them on that incredible journey, very personal. We're honored and humbled that we were able to be a part of that. I'm so happy that that program was acknowledged tonight because it was an amazing experience both for them and for us. And my wife Patty is here tonight. I love you. You've supported me my entire career. I love you so much. Thank you. On Jordan's behalf, thank you.
Hello, I'm Eric Funk, host of 11th and Grant with Eric Funk on Montana PBS here in Bozeman, Montana. We thought it might be kind of fun for you to see our backyard. Here at an elevation of 1 mile high, it's common in the springtime for us to hear the ice breaking, for us to see ranchers and farmers breaking the ground as they prepare to plant, bald eagles and red-tailed hawks descending, breaking the air. And in a bucolic setting like this, on a very quiet day, if you listen carefully, you might even hear cows and horses breaking wind. We thought it therefore appropriate when we were asked to present the 2014 Regional Emmy Award for Breaking News. And the
nominees are... And the Emmy goes to...
Hello, Dan Lewis and Molly Shen. We want to bring you more on our breaking news. The Interstate 5 bridge over the Skagit River in Mount Vernon has collapsed. Here's a look at it, and there are cars, or at least at last report, there were at least 2 cars and some people in the water.
You can see that there are a lot of people who have gathered along the side there watching as well.
Well, I want to thank our Assistant News Director, Sarah Garza, for hiring me. I want to thank Holly Gaunt and Janine Giraffes, our General Manager, and of course the photographers, the reporters, and of course Lindsay Cohen, who's over there. I remember calling her that night, and she was getting her nails done. I'm like, I need for you to come back, big time. So anyways, this goes out to the entire team at Como, and a big shout out to Kathy Rollins, who is our Nightside Assignment Editor and is working tonight. She lives our brand, so congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Breaking news, as you guys know, is the category we're talking about. There's actually a second winner in this category. And that Emmy goes to...
You're looking live at a May Day gathering in Seattle. The latest protester will hit the streets soon. This demonstration will leave Seattle Central Community College. No official route has been announced, so we are waiting to see where it will go.
Several King 5 news crews are following developments at this hour. We begin with King 5's Natalie Swaby live at Seattle Central Community College on Capitol Hill. Natalie.
How many are supposed to be up here?
There's supposed to be 8.
There's supposed to be 8 people up here. I don't know why the hell I'm the only one standing. KJ, come on up. It takes a great team effort, and that's all I have to say. I didn't prepare any remarks. I'm on vacation still. KJ, would you like to say something?
Still fun running with the young dogs.
Hey, Kim, this way.
I was at the start of TV kind of thing, and we didn't know what it was, but when it went on, we were just thrilled that happened. I wanted to work in TV because I could communicate. Now that sounds stinky, but if one guy in front of a camera and a microphone could talk to skillions and millions of people. I thought, gee, what a wonderful idea it is, rather than just standing here talking to you alone. Hi, I'm Bob Newman. It's like you didn't know. I worked at Cairo Television from 60 to 86. That's a million years ago, and I did 26 years there. I got out of the Marine Corps in 1957, came back, finished school, got a job at Cairo. There was this thing called the J.P. Patches show that was on, and which I had no idea what it was. I did 18 different characters on that show. From Gertrude was probably the most popular. Gertrude was a very, very loquacious, wonderful lady. She was the operator. And of course, he was Boris Iswart, the second meanest man in the world. I don't know how we ever figured that one out, but that went that way. Then Gorse, the friendly purple? Which is a giant, big, furry blanket thing, which I was inside throwing arms around and doing everything. We have a statue down in Fremont. Can you believe that? A statue of me. It's communication. I talk, you listen. You talk, I listen. The secret there is you got to get your head out of broadcast and get it into receive. You got to listen, and that's what most people just don't do. And to accept this, and I'm accepting, the golden circle. Gosh, that's a big deal, you know. Seriously, let me tell you, thank you very much to all of you Emmy people. You're really great. You're the backbone of this industry. You know, without you, it wouldn't make it, you know. There's always a group of people. There's always 10 or 20% of people that are holding it together. You're very good. Thank you very much for all you've done. It's been a pleasure being around you, you know. I used to I used to pay dues. I know all about this, about this show. But hey, you did good, you're doing good, and you will do good. It's just a part of your life, and you're doing very good. Thank you very, very much.
The great Bob Newman. Love Bob. He could not be here with us tonight, but we thank him for all of his tremendous work on TV over the years. We're getting ready to jump into the news day parts as we wrap things up here. We've got a lot of nightly news folks, the middayers. I have sympathy for you morning news people, because morning news used to be like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and then somebody got silly and was like, let's do 6. And then the guys across town said, we'll do 5. Somebody went, we'll do 4:30. And it just started getting silly. And I can feel your pain because I host a late night comedy show. And once you get past midnight, we're in the coveted time slot of 1:05 a.m. The bosses notice and say, hey, you guys are already up. Why don't we be the earliest news? And it's been a disaster, but whatever, take a look.
Real. Important. Really important. It's too early news. When news happens at an ungodly hour, it's too early news.
If it happens, well, it happens.
I guess I'm the weather guy. I gotta go to the bathroom. Never mind.
What's this? Oh no, I really have to go out there? Sucks.
It's dark. It's cold. It's too early news.
Your forecast is coming up.
Not terribly alert weather. Traffic reports before you need them.
Who are you?
Token, blonde, traffic.
Well, how are the roads?
Good.
Real important. Too early news.
I think your eyelash came off. There.
She's good.
This is too early. I got that sick feeling. I'm nauseous. I think this whole thing was a huge mistake.
It's too early news.
I'll have your news headlines.
Well, I'm doing the weather, the forecast, but I guess I'll do breaking news, but I mean, that's like what Twitter's for. I don't want to be out in the cold, dark. Oh, Chris Kattan has sports, so here, it's a
What?
microphone for you.
What are you doing this for? Why did you do this?
Are you not on our news team?
No, I'm just hanging out.
For the dozen or so viewers who are up at 3 in the morning, this is your newscast. Too early news. Real important. Real early.
No, don't cheer. We don't want to do it. Don't encourage them, please. All right, but some of you guys are locked in. We're unrestricted free agents, but you guys are stuck on a contract. Deal with it. Morning news categories. Take a look. Here they are. Markets 81 plus. And the Emmy goes to...
This is KBOI 2 News This Morning.
Really tense moments for firefighters and homeowners as a wildfire forces evacuations near Highway 16. We've been on scene all night and we'll have the very latest for you. Good morning. I'm Rick Douglas and welcome to KBOI 2 News This Morning. We've been following...
Came all the way from Boise. Come on up here. Conveniently, Channel 2. That worked out well. Congratulations. Morning, folks. Thanks for staying up with us.
I just want to say thank you. When you work in a smaller market, it really does take an entire newsroom when you have breaking news and your photographer jumps up and grabs a camera and produces the newscast and comes back and edits the thing. Thank you to Alana, who I called at 10:30 p.m. and said, hey, can you go live? And she said, I'll be there. So thank you, and to my partner of 19 years almost, Tracy. Thank you for the late nights and understanding when I would not be home. Thank you.
Alana Brophy is here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Thank you to Kendra, such an honor to accept this with a friend and mentor and boss like Kendra. Wow. Major thanks for my family. They're also watching on the live stream. I know you're sitting there going, oh my gosh. I know, so am I. Like, whoa, so am I. Thank you. I know, right? I get the cues. I get the cues. Thank you to my best friends who are actually here tonight, Nikki Navarro, my best friend, and my boyfriend, Tyler. I love you guys. Thank you to Rich and Casey, the directors, who put this show on every day. I took on this morning challenge and was so excited about it, so thank you to the directors and the crew and everyone who believed in us. Clint, Scott, Logan. Gosh, I just love you, KBOI. Small and mighty. Small and mighty. Thanks.
All right, we turn to the nighttime evening news, markets 81 plus. There are your nominees, and the Emmy goes to.
Next, flames rip through downtown Jerome. We have a crew on the scene with live pictures from this devastating blaze and what challenges firefighters face tonight.
Gusty winds for the past 2 days, and they're about ready to stop, but that means a cold night.
An extraordinary.
I'd love to thank my news team, my news director, Kate Morris, and my mentor, and my whole night team, especially my anchor, Mark Johnson, Carolyn Holley, so thank you.
I only came up here because she can't read the teleprompter.
I'm behind the scenes.
And I'm an anchor. Who's running this frickin' thing? It's so slow. No. Young producers, do what Erica Rush has done. Look your anchors in the eye and say, it's okay if you go to the virtual set, to the Mon Wall, to the first weather. It's okay. Help me win my first Emmy. Erica Rush did that. How about it?
Next category, morning, daytime news, markets 21 to 80. There's your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
KGW News Channel 8, where the news comes first. This is breaking news.
We begin this half hour with the latest on our breaking news in Northeast Portland. A major fire happening right now. It's moved very quickly, and what you're looking at is what is left of a 5 to 6 story structure.
Yeah, live pictures, and you can see all the smoke there.
So Wiley Post, our great morning EP, couldn't be here tonight, but this is for him and the great job that he and his team do every morning. So congratulations to him.
In the final stretch, folks, turning back to evening news, markets 21 to 80. There are your nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
From K2 News, this is Breaking News.
We begin with continuing coverage of breaking news out of Oregon City. A police officer is shot in the face, and now we know the suspect is dead. Hello, I'm Anna Canzano. This happened on Lynn Avenue near downtown Oregon City, and neighbors were hearing from police.
This is a real honor. Thank you. As a weekend newscast, we are quite a team. It's, dedicated people working together. And I think a lot of this goes to Tracy, who's not here tonight, but she helped plan a good coverage of a reserve police officer who went out, left his house in the morning, and didn't go home to his wife and who was pregnant, 7 months pregnant with their daughter. It was a tough day, and I think I need to mention Anna Canzano, who just had her baby this morning, first-time mother, Zia Canzano, and the emotion and dedication and that she brings to the weekends is really something else. So thank you very much.
Here's the category of morning daytime news, markets 1 through 20. Here's your nominees. Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
Cairo 7 Eyewitness News continues.
go. May Day 2013 in Seattle, it was protesters versus police in a violent face-off, but did either side go too far?
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank News Director Bob Jordan for taking a chance on me and taking a chance on the morning team. David Bryan, thank you. Christine Borman, thank you. These morning producers deserve not just an Emmy, but a Purple Heart. They are working their butts off at 1 o'clock in the morning while everyone else is sleeping. Thank you.
To everybody that Fred just thanked, and Fred and all the morning crew reporters, anchors, there's no one else I'd rather stay up all night with. And my family watching home in Southern California, they are still awake. So thank you guys.
Okay, here comes the nominees for Evening News Markets 1 through 20. Don't even look at the screen. You already know if you're nominated. Let's just cut to the chase and find out who the Emmy goes to.
Number 1 at 5. King 5 News starts now.
A terrifying sight. Security cameras roll as the Skagit River Bridge collapses.
Vehicles and people plummet into the water below.
I assumed that was it at that point. There was no hope.
Wow, I did not expect to be up here twice. Thank you to everyone at King. We've covered a lot of news this year, as you all know. It hasn't been easy, but there is no other team that I would rather cover those stories with. So thank you, and thank you to Norm, my steadfast EP, accepting on his behalf. Thanks.
Well, this is it, folks, the grand finale. Look at that one lonely Emmy over there. That belongs to the recipient of Station Excellence. Who's it gonna be? Let's find out. There's the nominees. And the Emmy for Station Excellence goes to...
My name is Jewel Gilfillan, and I'm a producer for Oregon Field Guide. This year we had the opportunity to work with Bill Wallauer, who is a native Oregonian, and he is now the cinematographer for...
Congratulations to Oregon Public Broadcasting.
Thank you very much. Wow, this is very exciting. We are so fortunate to live in a region that has so many great stories to cover and so many great stories that people want to hear about. And we're so fortunate at OPB to have a staff that goes out and courageously covers those stories, whether it be up on Mount Hood or an artist working somewhere in Oregon. And I have to thank the people that make all this possible for OPB, our 120,000 donors who contribute to make all this possible. So thank you to them for making OPB what it is. Thank you.
Congratulations to Oregon Public Broadcasting. I would like to propose a toast, and based on the noise level of this table, I have some catching up to do. Thank you guys for joining us, the 51st Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. You don't have to go home. The other end of the convention center is a hotel. They have a bar and restaurant there. Congratulations. We'll see you on TV.
Show business like no business I know. Everything about it is